radio for your free online visit.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. Now that we got through the spring and we're in the summer, what's better for summer than ice cream? I always say, get yourself a bucket load. Now, I know they don't sell it by the buckets at Ted and Wally's, but they do sell it by the pint. They do sell it by the half gallon. All you got to do is call ahead to get yours reserved today. And so many flavors. Go on social media, whether it's Facebook or on Twitter, and they have a list of the day's ice creams for both locations. That's in the old market, of course, and in Benson. Swing by there, get yourself some great ice cream this summer, and tell them Severe sent you.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover is
crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover. Double crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve.
The crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Why do you do that? Because it messes with the button. No, all you got to do is push the button once. Why do you?
It's just to make sure. Just to make sure.
And you know what? And then it's got a short in it because you know why?
No.
Because the midday guy came in here and went.
It doesn't.
I think you just like the sound. You're also the same guy that likes saying "oh great" all the time. Oh great.
Who does?
I don't like to say "oh great."
I think
you didn't say
the
"oh great"
word
Stadium a lot,
great
Stillwater
has reached its quota from Nebraska people.
Why? What
people like saying "oh great"?
Oh.
You put an O in
I
front
do
of
not know this to be true. Where are you getting this?
You put an O in front of things, people like saying it.
That is true.
O'Connor?
Now that is true, yes.
Oh, Josh?
O'Sullivan.
Yep.
Oh, say, can you see?
For those that are in, they'll call him Sully, but I think O'Sullivan is just a great thing. It's just a great way to refer to him as not Kevin.
He's always got the big sunglasses on. I like his big sunglasses game.
He always has the game face on.
He does.
He's a big game face.
He's
guy.
never doing anything.
Yeah, just a big game face.
Except for making too many mound visits.
Yep, that's true.
Well, okay, so did you guys
fun with it.
So every time
really came in hot.
Sully's got definitely a personality.
Yeah.
He's been here numerous times. He's won a national championship. He gets $1.8 million.
He doesn't have much of a personality.
If you get to know him, he does.
Yeah.
But did you guys tell the story of his wife last week on air?
No, we did not. There was a big kerfuffle with that last June, and we're staying away from that.
There was no kerfuffle.
There was a kerfuffle.
It's not a kerfuffle.
I'm pretty sure we talked about it on the air last year, didn't we?
Yeah, because I told the story.
Exactly. Yes.
So there was a prominent Florida athletic booster who part of the family got eliminated.
Jesus.
And
eliminated?
She was
not for the tournament.
She was looking for a soulmate, and she happened to find the head baseball coach at Florida. I'll just leave it at that.
What more of the story is there to tell? There's clearly no more to that.
They're madly in love.
And now they're in Game 7 of a regional.
Which good to Florida. That was quite the surprise.
Love knows no boundaries.
How far do you think if
Are you Googling the story?
No.
The best way I can describe it is there were some shady things that went on for the elimination of certain people.
Yeah.
And he just, it's like, it's like when the ball is hit the shortstop and they fumble it. And
I don't like how you're saying eliminating. I don't like how you're saying that.
It's kind of like when you hit the ball to the shortstop and he fumbles it and the third baseman is nearby to pick it up. Kevin Sullivan was the third baseman.
No, I think that's the best way to
right time at the right
phrase
place.
it, Connor.
Yeah. Hey, so do you guys think if
quite the story, isn't it?
I'm a paragraph in. Yep.
You're just learning about this, Josh?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
This was. I remember this was news to me when Gary brought it up last year.
It's very sensitive.
It is quite
very, very sensitive.
A lot of landmines around this story.
Very sensitive.
Yeah, you do.
Very sensitive.
You have to watch your step.
You got to know your stuff. You got to know what you're talking about.
Some people find true love online. Others find it in the court system. Best way to describe it.
Who are we to judge?
Yeah. You were saying?
I was saying if, if Jack Caglione's home run would have been the launch angle of like 38 degrees instead of like 12, like it was, would it have gone 580 feet or more?
Maybe more. Yeah, maybe more.
Hey,
119 exit velocity. That's impressive. By the way, on a hanger. This was not a fastball. This wasn't a Jackson Brackett 93-mile-an-hour fastball. That was a hanging
He
breaking
has
ball.
a bat like a toothpick.
Yeah,
I know.
He's like a slow pitch softball
Do
player.
you think he's the next Shohei?
Jeez.
He's not
Nah.
a great pitcher, but
Yeah.
he does pitch.
Yeah.
I think well, the
And obviously not
comparable
being drafted
thing.
to pitch. He's being drafted to do what he's been doing all postseason and all season long. Really.
The comparable thing to Shohei is that he's giant. He's
Yes.
just this
Mhm.
ginormous man. I don't know what
6'6", 240.
Yeah,
He is big.
big shoes.
Here's the thing that the difference you saw yesterday is like the strength and conditioning program for Florida baseball is on a heater.
Okay, but some of that ain't strength and conditioning, guys.
Oh, whoa, whoa!
That's just being big.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were implying something else,
Oh,
like the needle.
Could I steal that line the next
Yeah.
time somebody goes, "Hey, you're fat"?
Yeah.
Well,
This is just what God gave me. Yeah.
now they are.
All of Nebraska's players are 5'8". All of Nebraska's players are 5'8".
I will say people in the South are built differently. Athletes are built differently. You see that in football, you see that in baseball, and especially in the state of Florida. And majority of their roster, if not all their roster, is from the state of Florida.
We marveled at them last year during the College World
Yeah.
Series compared to other College World Series teams. They were big.
Like
They
the-
seem like absolute giants compared to
the
Nebraska.
SEC teams are built different.
There.
Yeah.
There's I'll give the comparison to the 21 Nebraska team. The last time there was an NCAA tournament team, that was a pint-sized Nebraska team. And I remember when they were playing Arkansas, you're like, whoa. I'll give Nebraska credit. At least they've shrunk that gap between the big hulking SEC or Big 12 teams compared to what they look like now. They got a couple of decent-sized dudes, more so than they had in 21. But yeah, I remember we were in Arizona Airport one time, and Oklahoma State was also getting their baggage while Nebraska was. And so you could compare them out of their uniform side by side. It wasn't even close. Like, God, why can't we look like that?
Big fellas.
Yeah, dudes that just even their more slight ones were like over 6'4".
Yeah,
Drew
like,
Christo on line one.
Yeah,
guys.
Drew Christo.
Is he the tallest guy on the team?
He's a big dude.
Okay, he probably is pretty
But
close.
I
There's
gotta
a
believe
6'7" freshman.
I
on
got to
the team.
believe that he's one of the rare Nebraska baseball players that played 4 years of high school football.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
I believe that if Drew would have just played football, he could have played tight end at the Division I level. He was a really good football player for Elkhorn High, but he had a golden right arm.
You guys want some news?
Well, yeah.
What sport?
This is basketball related. This is
Is that a
basketball.
tough question?
It is
You
it
pause there.
Yeah.
It is university wide.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, just got this on
Hello.
the electronic mail
Wow.
from Creighton.
On
Thanks for cluing me in.
in a
guys.
couple weeks, the Creighton University leadership, donors, friends, and fans will dedicate the McDermott Center, named for Coach Greg McDermott and his family.
Does that mean he's staying?
Which is now called the champion, which is currently called the Championship Center.
Boy, it'd be really tough for him to leave now.
It will change names in a little more than 2 weeks, and it will now be called the McDermott Center.
That is
That's wild.
Yeah. Hey, no flirting with Arizona State.
Yeah.
No, you're good.
That's a
cool.
pretty cool honor.
That is cool.
That's not where I thought you were going.
You thought we were going to go Doug?
I thought you were going to go with the volleyball news.
Oh.
What's the volleyball news?
A little 4-teamer to kick off the season. How about?
Oh yeah, we knew that, right?
I was wondering if we knew that. Okay, I've gone this far.
Did you share it with your
And the-
listeners?
and the-
Would you keep it a secret? Hey, Yum Yum Center.
Yeah.
Wisconsin,
Not the
Louisville,
yum,
Nebraska,
yum, the
and,
yum.
Wisconsin,
Louisville,
Nebraska,
Kentucky.
and then Kentucky.
Yeah.
Nebraska's playing Kentucky, not Louisville.
Right.
Louisville
Would have been a conflict of interest.
or
Very.
Louisville. I don't believe Louisville's competing in that.
The building who was originally donated, they donated all this money.
Is the old Mystery Manor?
Ruth and Bill Scott. The Scott family requested that the building be named after Coach McDermott.
Is
And
that the
late-
same Scott family that gives all the money to the zoo?
I think that's Walter.
Yeah,
Is that the same family?
it's got to be right.
I would assume
I'm in a general way, yes.
Okay.
That's an incredible honor. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got a beef with you.
Sorry,
Happer.
just wanted to throw that out there real quick.
The
Mac, calling it the
okay. So this
going
is
to
the first
practice
time.
at the Mac today.
So I have
Sounded very Boston of you.
I feel like What? I feel like I lost my virginity.
Whoa.
And I didn't feel anything on the We Are Doing a Radio show today.
What did I do? What did I tweet?
Whose hand is that?
Oh, that's you. Yeah, that's you. Yeah, you're in there.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to check.
I could have used the wider shot.
No, you don't want to. My hand's the best part of me.
Hand model.
Hand model.
See, I knew that you had that opinion, so I could have had this picture where you are like quite a bit taller than Jay Johnson. You look like a monster, and so that would have been a good look for you, probably.
Are we?
You're like Jack Caglione compared to Nebraska baseball players to Jay Johnson.
Are we openly rooting for LSU tonight?
I am.
I think it's
I
a
have no problem.
win-win with LSU and North Carolina.
Yeah, they're both.
I like them both.
I mean, it's obviously better for the city's economy. Should LSU make it to Omaha?
Yeah.
We could have
Rocco is
some
probably rooting for LSU
we could have
to get here.
some new
Yes,
faces.
very much so.
Like some very intriguing teams that haven't been here for a while or really like brand new.
Has Oregon been here?
Oregon has not.
In recent memory?
No.
No, they've
They
not.
came close last year in the Super.
K-State?
How would
Not much
K-State
K-State
go over
around
here?
K-State, yeah, no.
Oh, K-State. They'd make their way up.
Yeah.
They would come, but would the city
Sure.
embrace
I think so.
them?
Yeah.
It would just say you got
I do. I
no
think
hit
so.
by the Brocket Man.
I think baseball fans in general, or the Omaha rooting interest, this is where you do put I think, unless it's Texas, you put the Big 8, Big 12 rivalries or
SEC versus
Here's
everyone,
why.
right?
Yeah.
SEC versus everyone.
Right,
So
so I think,
whoever's
yeah.
not SEC, you root for them.
You're-
Unless you're Virginia. Then you don't root
100%.
for Virginia.
No.
You
they're
know,
just boring.
You don't root
That's
for
why I'm
Virginia.
so glad Wake Forest
But
is not
you
coming.
love O's. You love O's.
So O'Connor, yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Brian's. I like Brian.
and he's
Yeah.
a good dude.
But
So you'd be
they
conflicted.
don't really bring anybody.
No, they do not.
No.
Yeah.
No, they
It's
do not.
kind of quiet when they're here.
But at least they don't pretend to. There was a time that, remember we were talking about last year? Was it, or were we talking about this last week about, was it Tennessee that we talked about?
Yes.
That their
Every time you think
overall
Tennessee, yeah.
coverage or fan support here was pretty lame.
They're like, oh, Tennessee's going to show up.
And
No,
for the
they're not.
longest time, I was always told, like, oh, yeah, a lot of Texas people make it up on Texas. This was way back at the Rosenblatt days. They didn't show up. You'd get more of the Omaha bandwagon Texas fans than you would actual people from the state of Texas.
My little West Virginia mountain mama.
Hey, that's a great story.
Yep, 3
That's
seed.
it's his final year. He's retiring. I think we could have some let's just get crazy moments if West Virginia made it here.
Mhm.
West Virginia will be getting the winner of North Carolina and LSU.
Does Huggy make it up?
So
Can you imagine the Mountaineers going to Alex Box?
that's quite the collection of people you would have there.
Yeah.
West Virginia
yes,
and
it would be.
LSU.
Oh, wow.
I bet they get along.
Yeah.
I bet they get along quite
Absolutely.
well.
They would.
The only difference is the accent.
West Virginia
Yeah.
is kind of the Louisiana of the North.
There'd be a lot of farmer friends in there.
Whole question.
You ever marinated that gator in Mountain Dew?
They do love Mountain Dew. West Virginia, handshake meme, Nebraska.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
They would bond over Mountain Dew their entire stay here. You
Um,
guys got so much of that stuff here.
so the other day I had a little time on my hands.
Back
so I
at
was
home, it's at a premium.
doing some observation. Has it been discussed enough that the car antenna has disappeared?
I don't think it's been
I think
discussed.
it's
I don't know.
discussed
If,
appropriate
yeah,
amount.
I think the fact that it hasn't been discussed is okay.
The car antenna just disappeared, and there has not been much discussion.
Well, then what can you explain why we need the car antenna? Or do you prefer the car antenna?
I don't know. I was at a place that had a lot of cars, and I was like, "There's no antennas."
I don't have any antennas on my
Well,
car.
Unless we're talking
This
about
car,
it.
the
That's
my,
why there's so many car washes now, because they won't get.
Yeah, they go, wow.
Yeah,
wow,
I was
on
going
top of
into
the
a
roof.
parking garage. There was
Wow,
this giant
wow,
truck
wow,
who
wow,
had to
wow,
take
wow,
it
wow.
slow
Yep.
because his antenna kept hitting the top. But it didn't matter. It's just an antenna.
Was
they
it-
just
was it a-
car antennas just disappeared.
Was it a
People-
federal undercover rear antenna like they talk about in the town? Any Pee-wee grown up in Charlestown could spot that?
Nice.
Yeah, you know?
It was not.
That's the only time I had any conversation about a car
I don't
antenna.
know. I didn't know.
You
if
got a
it-
big
Vulcan
truck?
Xbox.
I
You got
didn't
a
know
big
if it had
antenna.
been a crossover discussion that the car antenna essentially has disappeared, and no one has been like, "Have you guys noticed?"
Good realization by you.
Like even
Yeah.
the little antenna that was like sits on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't
Those
there a
are
time? That's
gone.
how you could tell someone had satellite radio when they had there was that specific antenna when it first got
The
rolled
little
out.
baby antenna.
Yeah. You're like, oh man, they're rich.
I did
They've
when
got-
I
they've
got my new car
satellite radio.
and it didn't have an antenna. I didn't even think twice about it.
Mm.
I go, that's just a car. I don't really have an opinion on whether it had an antenna or not. Actually, I think I prefer it without an antenna.
I do too. This
Yeah.
is the first car that I've owned that have not had any semblance of an antenna. Now, my other observation, well, I was actually at the same place there. I was noticing a lot of things. Do you think that Guy Fieri would ever take a lie detector test? Because I think I am now I can tell if he really thinks the food is good or not.
Guy Fieri?
Oh.
Yes. So you know when you watch him and every bite is, it's so good?
Yeah.
I would like
It's
a
the
lie
O-face.
detector test on him
Mhm.
because I think there are times, because I think I'm getting better at this, when he doesn't like it.
You gotta watch if he takes another bite.
Yeah,
Like
that's,
he likes
that's
it
true.
so much that he goes back in for another bite.
Watch the second bite.
Mhm.
I went to Guy Fieri's taco bar at Power and Light this weekend.
Hello.
How was it?
It was fine. They had good food.
Get you some trash can nachos.
I had a taco.
I've had those at the airport.
And
Pretty good.
but the beer, the alcohol was very expensive. Very expensive.
Well, he's got his own tequila.
He does. Him
Probably
and his
explains
son,
it.
right? So he
And,
opened.
Sammy Hagar?
Yes, Sammy Hagar.
I hadn't been
So
to Power and Light in years.
So he opened
At Harrah's.
at Harrah's.
Yes.
He opened his restaurant
Yes.
last year, and he was actually in town.
Mhm.
Some people from around here met him, maybe dressed
did.
like him.
Alyssa, man, she was she was like
She goes all in.
like idol. I need to pose her that question. Can you tell when he does not like the food that he is sampling?
I wonder if she's done enough research.
I bet she has. If Gary's
She-
thinking about it, she knows.
I can't really recall Guy Fieri like eating stuff. I just know him
He
from
takes
being a weird
one
guy.
bite.
with
He usually
flames on
does it
his
in the
shirt.
kitchen. He doesn't usually do it out on the tables. I feel like he samples it in the kitchen.
I mean,
doesn't
the
he?
only way to know is to talk to people that, like, when they do like a second take. If he's like, nah,
Yeah.
use that first one, then I was just very curious because I saw an episode where I think I could tell that he did not like. It was a Mexican restaurant, and he was eating like a tamale,
Mm.
and I don't think he liked it.
He was
And I'm
not-
like, I would like, and he was like, oh, these are the best tamales in the Southwest. And I'm like, liar.
Then they say, and we're clear. And he goes, spits it out.
like I don't. But if I'm making food for a panel of celebrity chefs,
Yes.
I don't really care about Guy Fieri's opinion.
Did you say Fidetti?
Fieri. I'm
Fieri?
pretty sure that's how you actually say it.
Oh, you just kind of rolled the R. That's very exotic.
Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri.
Gad Fidetti?
I don't care about his opinion. You know who I care about? Josh, tell him.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay.
That's exactly right. That's the opinion of the person.
Because
Of
he's harsh?
all
Yes.
celebrity chefs,
Because
you
he's
go with
strict-
Gordon
he's
Ramsay?
strict-
Gordon
fair.
Ramsay has the goldest of the gold
he's
stars.
not gonna sugarcoat it.
He's
If
strict,
he
he's
doesn't
strict
like
but
it, he can
fair.
say.
Yeah. There's some
He is
guys
kind of
like
harsh.
He's doing the show now where little kids are making food.
Is he like the Simon
And-
Cowell
and-
of
Yes.
food critics?
Yeah.
Yes, and
And
he's
Connor famously loves Simon Cowell.
he's
Okay,
yelling at
I
little
see the connection.
kids. He's yelling at little kids now. He said, "This food sucks."
Well, he's toughing them up.
12-year-olds.
You should know better how to make that PB&J.
But
Do you
then,
like the taste of Binkies? Because this tastes like Binkies.
and then every once in a while, the kid will make a good, steak or something like that, and it'll be amazing because they'll be like, "This is incredible stuff." Because because he judges on the same plane for everybody. It doesn't matter who you are, what your background is. Food is food.
Even
How
if
old
you're,
are these?
I don't care if my food's being made by a 12-year-old. I want it to
Yeah.
be good.
So these kids are 12 years old?
Something like that.
That's
Yeah.
impressive.
Like 10 to
Okay.
13.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was not doing that when I was between 10 and 12.
No, I
I
did
could
not
open up a can of soup.
I did
That's
not
about
know
it.
how to cook a steak when I was 12. I probably don't even know how to cook a steak now. It's just a guess most of the
I
time.
want to say at that age, I could do a grilled cheese.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I could actually put the pan
Well,
out there,
what-
heat it up.
What food do you feel confident enough that you
Ooh.
make that you would take a picture and share it with the world?
Well,
Don't tweet your meat.
I always say don't tweet your meat because no matter what, somebody's going to find something wrong with it. But I
Yep.
thought you were going to go with what food would you make for Gordon Ramsay?
For someone that you
Gordon
would think
Ramsay.
that he would be like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
at the very least,
You're
the
asking
best.
the wrong
Okay.
person because
What's the thing you do best?
For me, it's I feel like I
45
make a very good
seconds.
jambalaya.
on.
Good jambalaya.
I make a good jambalaya.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a little complicated.
Yeah.
Jambalaya.
You got to have some. You got to have some time, but yeah, it's. I don't do it a lot, but when I do, I feel like it's decent.
Okay. Well, if that's what you're going with, and
Yeah,
that's what you're going
I'll
with,
go with my jambalaya.
I'd probably throw some chicken thighs on the grill or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe some
make-
wings.
Probably chili. I have a good chili recipe.
And there are some
You-
serious chili critics out there too.
There are
Mhm.
a lot of chili eating contests around. Do you think Gordon Ramsay would like your chili?
I do. It's got a little spice to it. You can taste the beer that's in it.
Yep.
Okay.
Got a little jalapeno.
I put a little whiskey.
I think
in
he would
my
like
chili.
it. It's not just, it would
Whiskey?
be different.
Yeah, do a
In
little
my
whiskey.
chili.
Put a little whiskey in my chili just to cook with. Nothing-
Interesting.
But
Nothing
I don't
overpower
really
it.
make anything that I would feel comfortable in taking a picture of it and sharing it with the world.
No, never do that. Never do that.
Couldn't end well.
No, it's not like you're going to be just overwhelmed with compliments. You're like, wow, this was a great idea. Because with every compliment, people will be like, meat's too chunky. Where are the beans?
Yeah.
Too red.
No, somebody's going to have an opinion on it somewhere. Here's what I usually do. This would make it a lot better.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I like it the way it is. All right. I like this.
I mean, I don't know.
And I was proud of it. So how about you get off me?
I mean, some people are afraid of
back
the online corn mob crowd. You know, like if you say anything negative about Nebraska, they're going to come after you.
They
Like
already
the-
have come after Connor and I.
They
the-
come after us all the time.
Yeah, what was that nonsense last night? I just, in passing, I saw whatever you were interacting.
Oh,
Just, hey, mute as your friend, move on.
the guy.
Not worth
that-
a mute.
that-
Not worth a mute.
That guy's been getting after me for a couple weeks. He's just been responding to all my tweets, was just with like really derogatory things.
Jeez.
And I keep interacting. I'm like, dude, are you okay? Like, what's wrong with you?
Connor lives rent free in this guy's head.
Yeah, I just keep asking. I'm like, what are you okay? Who
I
hurt
need to
you?
be concerned.
Are you okay? And I haven't got a straight response on that, but I'm definitely not blocking him. That would give him way too
No,
much
no, you don't need to
satisfaction.
block. Go
No.
mute.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause you'll never know.
No, but I want to see it. I do want to see
Well, you
it.
can still see it.
Yeah, you'll still see
show
it.
up.
It
It
shows-
says account you muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't trigger me at all. So I'm just I want to see what's going on. You know, just to be clear, I'm not mad. Don't put it on the internet that I got mad.
So do you have funny responses like Kendall Rogers?
I don't like to just
Like he said yesterday to a guy, because some guy said, defeats is not a word. And he said, don't be a dork, Addison.
Okay, that's a good response.
I don't like to put people out there that way and be like, hey, this guy's an idiot, like attack him. That's not fair, that's not right.
Oh,
And
good for
then you're putting yourself out there too.
because then everything you say better be on
Exactly.
point.
Exactly. I am not mistake free. I'm mistake prone, in fact, I'd say.
But
So
that's good on you to think about that.
Like Kendall has grown on the social media world.
He has. He said it's going to be a newsy Monday in South Carolina.
Yeah, the guy not retained, Mark Kingston.
Yeah.
What about-
David Pierce might be
I
out.
was going to say, what about in
Yeah.
Yeah,
Austin?
This guy tweeted at him yesterday. I typed it up while taking a dump. Pretty similar to what you do when you tweet out a take.
See,
Kendall said, thanks, Chuck.
It's actually kind of a funny response.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you gotta, you're in the middle of covering a game and people are getting after you. I mean, you gotta kill them with kindness.
Do you think Kevin asks on the Equitable Bank inbox,
Hi, Kevin.
do you think Gordon Ramsay's ever eaten a runza?
Oh, I bet he would just tear it
No.
apart.
What would you think?
Not like actually tear it apart, but I think he would not like it.
I would be more interested in how he would describe it, like a meat pie.
A Louisiana meat pie.
It wouldn't be pretty. But that's the thing about runzas. Gritty, not pretty. You're not in it for the presentation, that's for sure.
Are you promoting a team-wide NIL to keep certain players on the
Yeah.
Nebraska
Gritty,
baseball
not
team?
pretty runza.
That's
Just like the
right.
runza.
That's right. Gritty, not pretty.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not getting a runza because it looks nice. There'd be no way to dress that thing up. What are you going to do? Slap some sauce on it? I don't think so. You just have to eat it.
You have a quizzical look.
I don't know what this website is.
Oh boy.
Where are you at?
The Daily ER.
The Daily Er. That's the Nebraska
Okay.
satire
Okay.
publication.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Daily
That's-
ER.
Is that the one
better.
that does the April Fool's Day Daily Nebraskan
I think
edition?
it is. Yeah, it's a student-run satire publication.
Daily Er.
That is why there is an oddly specific story. Gordon Ramsay seen eating a runza, and it's just a very badly photoshopped picture of Gordon Ramsay next to a runza. I was like, wait, what? Why is this a very specific
I like
joke?
this. I like this Daily Er.
What is this?
Hey, when I was in school, they were harsh, man. Like Nebraska football would be
Good.
one of their areas, but the stories were written so well, you thought they were real.
Like onion stories.
What I was told is that, like the Scott Baldwin situation
Oh, yeah.
happened around that time,
Yeah.
and they went the Daily Nebraskan April Fool's Day edition went all in on
Oh,
that.
that's
You
that one. You gotta.
You can Google that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might have to. That.
Uh,
Be careful on that one.
all right, one final one, and then we'll let you guys get on. I saw your tweet about your trip to Westroads.
Josh went to Westroads?
Yes, I did. I did go to Westroads
Oh, I
over the
didn't see
weekend.
this.
How'd it go for you? Did you go to the Flagship Commons?
Yeah, my son loves the pizza place that's
Okay.
there.
I've heard good things about that one.
Weirdo pizza.
Very very affordable,
Okay.
and he'll eat it up. So
Okay.
we go.
A lot of the storefronts are full at Westroads, which is nice.
Yeah.
You happened upon a fake store for Yankton, South Dakota.
I did.
I saw your picture.
I did. It's a little triangle tucked in by the Container Store.
Is it all about the Gavin's Point
Did you
Dam?
step inside and
Oh.
start plucking pamphlets off the rack?
I did not. I did go in and take a look around. I was like, wow, there's
I've seen
these
that
are-
before.
This is just pamphlets in this.
There was
store.
So did you
nobody
learn anything?
there,
No.
just pamphlets.
No employees, no spot for an employee to be.
Did you learn
All about Yankton?
how far away Yankton is?
not
Just a
far.
short drive from Omaha.
It is.
No,
It's like 2 hours.
The
isn't
home
it?
of the Mount Marty Lancers.
I'm sure had I read any of the pamphlets, it would have told me that. But no,
Gavin's Point Dam.
It
Very
actually
cool.
is a great idea.
Just rent
to
a little
put the
storefront.
storefront there.
I'm sure it didn't cost him much because it's like a little sliver.
yeah, it's not a full store. It's like it's literally a triangle of.
That's pretty prime real estate, though, right outside the Container Store.
Yeah.
People are getting containers.
Yeah.
But look at the foot traffic.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely
Huh.
brings awareness to Yankton, South Dakota.
I want to learn more about Yankton.
It goes up from 0, I think. People
Local
don't think.
local media members pushing it out on their social accounts.
Yeah,
Hey.
that helps.
You know what? Maybe you can. Maybe Yankton, South Dakota will hook you up.
Josh
You could-
Dotson here for Yankton, South Dakota.
Yankton,
Why
South
not?
Dakota.
I almost played baseball there.
Is
in
it
Mount
really
Marty.
only 2 hours from here?
Two,
Yeah, pretty much.
2 hours and 26 minutes.
Yeah.
According
But you have to
to
like weave your way up through Norfolk and.
Yeah. What is the best route since we're on this now?
Yeah, you're gonna go the north.
Yeah, you're gonna go I-29 through
Yep.
Sioux City
Mhm.
and then past Vermilion into Yankton.
But you know what? You could take an odd little detour on your way up and go to Martinsburg and go to Bob's Burgers
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah. and have a huge, enormous head size shaped
I
burger.
would admit I'm a more of a fan of Eastern South Dakota. I like Interstate 29. If it's not on Interstate
'Cause-
29, it's
I mean,
not
it
for
pretty
me.
you
much
can go
is on
90.
Interstate 29. It pretty much is on Interstate 29.
I mean, Vermilion's a long way off Interstate 29. It's like 10 miles.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, this
if
one's
I
like
remember
20
correctly, going
miles.
up to Yankton, you don't really get a chance to really get going.
Now you can take the scenic route and go through Wayne if you'd like.
Oh, I'll
Stop
go
by.
to- hey,
Stop by for Chicken Days.
Chicken Days are coming up.
Yep.
Whoa.
Chicken Days, big thing.
Wayne America. I think that's when Wayne State coaches go out recruiting. They don't they sell it as Wayne America?
Yes.
They should call it Wayne stock.
Hey.
There actually is in the basketball world. Speaking of
Wayne
to,
stock. I remember that.
make the full circle here on this crossover. Greg McDermott, Wayne State.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
How many of these storefronts do you think Yankton, South Dakota has? Like, is there one at the one of the Lincoln malls?
Gateway Mall? I would think so.
Yeah, Des Moines
What about Sioux City?
Oh, it has to be in
Mall
Sioux
of
City.
America.
Does-
That's probably expensive real estate. though.
Yeah.
So you're saying, does Omaha have one in the Mall of America? Like, does Omaha
Is
have a
there an
tourism?
Omaha storefront?
Yeah. Visit Omaha.
Visit
Yeah,
Omaha.
yeah, does Omaha have these?
Have you
anywhere?
guys
don't
ever
know.
been out of town and watched local television and an Omaha commercial for Omaha Convention
Yeah.
Visitor Bureau show up?
Never once in my life.
It's
no.
all downtown CWS. That usually shows the pedestrian bridge too, which is a huge
Now
draw.
I can show the,
And the
baby
zoo.
Bob.
Hey, is that going to be ready?
No, it's
'Cause
not till
the baby Bob?
winter or fall.
Oh,
Perfect time to
Yeah.
have a bridge ready, so it just sits there during the winter.
On cue.
they gotta get just like we got 2 weeks left. Come on, put that thing into gear. It's
I know.
almost done. We gotta open that.
Round the clock. Let's go. Get those big lights like we're working on the interstate.
I don't want to do it.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to do a report with a hard hat on from a construction
Oh,
site.
that would be.
I want to
pretty
do a
cool.
report from a bridge.
Yeah, it'd be pretty
Great
cool though if
idea.
you had the hard hat on.
It would be cool to have it done, but
Mhm.
things move a little bit slow in this town.
Johnny mails in. He says it's
John.
called Bob's Bar, not
Sorry.
Bob's Burgers.
Well, okay, Bob-
Nick,
you
in
get a-
Martinsburg.
You get a burger from Bob's Bar. Yeah.
Bob's Bar.
Yeah.
Jason and Pender says Bob's Burgers is so good. One burger or tenderloin can feed a small
It can.
family.
It's
Oh.
true. And then you get the whole mess of either tots or curds. Oh, You need a nap.
I took a trip to Columbus once with the mayor of Columbus, Mike Schaefer.
Yeah.
And
Where'd you go?
he took me to Glur's.
Glur's
Is
the
that
munchies. Yeah.
Is that
Glur's
the
good.
time you did a remote at the water park?
Exactly. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah, at the Pawnee Plunge?
The Pawnee Plunge. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had this when Schaefer and I started our show. We had this dream to do a show from the Pawnee Plunge.
You guys, oh, wow.
And we did it. And we
Did Schaefer tell you,
Awesome.
because I believe he was still in Columbus when this happened, they had to shut down the park for a couple of days because someone had a real life Baby Ruth. It wasn't a Baby Ruth. That they let one go in the pool.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible he told me that.
Yeah. A lot of fun things would happen over there. That was right by the ballpark too.
I don't know.
Pawnee
Definition
Park?
of fun things is a little bit different.
Yeah. You don't want to
Pawnee
see
Plunge
that
is sweet though, guys.
thing. Yeah, the plunge, man. That was where it was. And you're right next to the greatest Godfathers ever.
Oh, really?
That Godfathers just hits different. And
You get the taco pie.
that's really good.
Try my taco pie.
You know who agrees with me on that one too is Dirk Chatlin. Columbus native.
He's a Columbus homer
Yep,
though.
Yep, he also agrees with me. Schaefer will tell you the same thing. That Columbus Godfathers is
Look
goat.
at that city, the amount of media talent that they have churned out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sip.
Yeah,
Simple.
Sip is from there.
That's simple.
I mean, they've got to have like a Hall of Fame there, right?
Did you guys get did you see the message board drop in from Sean on their trip down to Texas today?
Did not. They're doing satellite camps.
So they're on the satellite camp tour,
Nice.
checking out some Nebraska coaches. Sean dropped in with a little message for the readers of his website and said, "Yeah, hey, we're here in Texas. We got some good food last night. Funny story: Sipple forgot his entire suitcase, so he
sounds
had
about
to go buy all new clothes.
Amazing.
Maybe subconsciously he wanted to buy new clothes, so he just did that.
How?
He
Yeah,
forgot
it's-
his entire
Oh,
suitcase.
yeah,
Like, I know it's Sipple.
It's just
he must have been in a hurry.
It's I'm all jammed up.
Yeah, God.
Where's one thing?
It was either go home and pack and make everyone late or just show up.
I wonder how long. I would like to
I
ask
could
some
use an
follow-ups.
update of my wardrobe.
The follow-up would obviously be like, when did you realize that you forgot your entire suitcase? How
Yeah,
soon?
good
How
follow-up.
how
Yep.
soon after you left the house?
Were you out of your neighborhood and you're like, this is just too far to go
or
back?
did he wait until he got all the way to Houston or
Yeah.
whatever the hell they are?
You
So,
know, it's on the top of my
All
car.
the interviews that he does all 3 shows on this station.
Sometimes.
We need to have a concerted effort to really get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
By the time, because I think you have him last on Friday.
Yeah.
By the time he gets to Friday, he's just spent. He didn't want to talk about it anymore.
Tired of
Or
answering questions.
can we go a whole segment where it's nothing but his suitcase?
He forgot.
Nothing about the satellite camp, nothing
No.
about anything else, but about
Suitcase.
how does a person
Yeah.
that is in their late 50s forget their suitcase on a trip? And that's like the most important thing.
Right.
Like when you're getting into a vehicle and you see everybody else putting their suitcase in the trunk,
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh.
I'm good.
I don't know.
Yeah, like you
And
forget
then
your charger,
of
maybe your
all
reading
of the
glasses, but your suitcase.
Sippelisms,
Yeah.
this has to be in Sharpie in the top 5, right?
Oh wait,
Yeah.
actually, this is okay. So there is a little bit of detail here.
I
So
didn't know it was an overnight.
as Sean writes it,
I thought it was a down and back to Houston.
They didn't tell me it was an overnight.
Steve Sipple also forgot his suitcase in Lincoln and didn't realize it until he got to Omaha to leave yesterday. So he got all the way to Omaha and hopped on the flight by the time he realized it. So they had to make a special stop at Target for Sipple to buy all
Oh.
new clothes.
All right. He's rocking the Target drobe.
And there's a picture of Sipple at Target with
Okay.
with just the clothes on his
I'm
back.
going to do some damage here.
I mean,
That's awesome.
I love that,
Goodwill
man.
wasn't open.
Yeah.
Thinking
Nope.
about Sipple and his frugalism.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You got it.
You can get out the Target.
Pretty sweet retro.
You can
coat
get after
there.
it at Target.
Wow.
You guys see the members only coat I got? That's pretty awesome.
All right. Well, you guys
Well,
have
remember
a great,
this for the Steve Sipple roast.
have a great afternoon. Enjoy enjoy Game 7s today.
Yep.
Should be fun.
Best
Should be
2
fun.
words in sports.
Exactly. All right. That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete. Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Monday. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
This is something that I've been very cognizant of living in Omaha, because I think Nebraska athletics, whether it be trying to gain new ticket holders, new donors, new interest, yes, winning matters, is they need to be better in this town, like more visible.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Warm and muggy start to the week Monday. Expect partly sunny skies. Can't rule out a stray shower or storm late afternoon and evening, though most will remain dry. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
The Nebraska Lottery presents 5 reasons the dollar bill is so great. First, it's always there when you need it. You can always find one folded up in your pocket just waiting to get you out of a jam. Second, it's humble. It doesn't strut around like a 50 or 100 waiting for people to compliment it. Third, it works hard. Whether you need more money for a tip or extra detergent at the laundromat, a dollar bill sure comes in handy. Fourth, it beats lugging around 100 pennies. And fifth, you can use it to buy a Lotto America ticket from the Nebraska Lottery. Lotto America only costs $1. It has a $2 million starting jackpot with drawings every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And you can add the All-Star bonus for an additional $1 to multiply any prize won. So visit a Nebraska Lottery retailer today and buy a Lotto America ticket. Sounds like someone tried to pay with 100 pennies. So sad.
Lotto America top prize odds, 1 in 26 million.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha frequently conducts clinical trials for a broad range of investigational treatments. Velocity is currently seeking participants to wear a Fitbit watch for 31 days with compensation of up to $200. Some other current studies includes low T, COPD, flu, pediatric, infant, and RSV. They also perform vaccine studies for people of all ages. See current trials at velocityclinicaltrials.com, compensation for study-related time and travel, and find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about got sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
There's a great selection of more than 125 pre-owned vehicles and certified pre-owned Acuras to choose from right now at Acura of Omaha. See all the bargains online at AcuraofOmaha.com or stop by the dealership at 4211 South 144th Street.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Monday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Odson with you today following the weekend of regional baseball around the country. Nebraska's season did not extend into Monday, but it did extend after a several-hour rain delay yesterday in Stillwater. So you take that, Josh, right?
They got a dub over the weekend.
We'll talk a lot more in depth on this as we go on throughout the show today. But they did what they were supposed to do. I mean, they did what they were kind of supposed to do, right? So we can talk about the intricacies of that as we go on throughout the show today, and we will. I'll also talk about college baseball at large. Kind of a wild regional weekend, but still ended up with a little chalk across the board with the SEC and the ACC, of course, continuing to lead the way. The tops of those conferences, especially, are moving on to super regional weekend. We'll have shots to get to Omaha. Plenty of other things going on in sports as well. Get through the weekend, and I mean, maybe I think we probably have to talk about this Caitlin Clark thing. Just
everyone else is.
She's just getting destroyed. She's just getting mauled out there by people, and there's not a regret in the world from folks.
Where's her team?
Interesting question.
Seems like if you like someone on your team and that happens to them, there would be a kerfuffle.
Yeah, no, not too many kerfuffles other than Caitlin hitting the ground a lot. So we have plenty to come on a Monday edition of the Connor Happer Show, including the return of one Mike J. Schaefer. He will join us at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. He's back in the swing of things and just in time. It's a big month of recruiting for Nebraska football and other things as well related to Nebraska football. And you know what? In honor of Schaef's return, we're going to roll out an edition of Should Schaefer Click on This Link? Would Schaefer click on this link? It's been a while. I've honestly forgot the game existed a couple times. Then he was gone. He's been gone for several months. So we're bringing it back today.
It's his second return of the year.
Yes. Schaefer doesn't know it, but it's coming at him. Sam McKewon will join us at the 1 o'clock hour as well. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You could call or you could text that number. You can tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. You can email Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And of course, we say good morning and a happy Monday to our YouTube streamers today. Theo chimes in a little bit ago.
Hi, Theo.
Theo has me engaged. I am intrigued. He left this out there 20 minutes ago on the YouTube chat. Have some good gossip for the Happer Show chat. Stay tuned. Fire emoji.
Oh, Theo, I'm going to need you to spill the tea.
That's what I told him in the comments. We commented back. I said, Theo, go ahead. Let us hear it. This is the time of the year, Josh, where we can dive into some lesser talked about topics. The show goes wherever you'd like it to go.
It is that season, and if Theo's going to, just drop a bomb on the chat like that, I mean, I need some receipts.
So let's hear it. Let's see it. I did go to Kansas City over the weekend. I got my Bobby Witt Jr. shirt.
Yeah, and
the boys are indeed playing some ball. Not really, but yesterday they won.
I understand you. You're a humble guy. You don't like to, brag about all the great things you have going on in your life. But I mean, I mean, you were there the same day, so I assume you were invited into the Big Slick celebrity softball game.
I was invited to go to we just had a trip with a bunch of my friends over the weekend, and we stayed downtown, and I hadn't been to Power and Lights in several years. I don't even think anybody actually goes there anymore. And so Saturday night we're kind of walking around down there and stopped into Guy Fieri's taco bar or whatever it was. And I was like, it's kind of loaded up in here. Like there was kind of a concert going on in the thing where you had to inside like the courtyard, the actual Power and Light area. You had to like pay a cover to get in there. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. But it was you couldn't help but notice that there was quite a buzz in the area. And so I'm like, what's the deal? And then come to check like Twitter after a few minutes, I see all these videos, and every celebrity that we care about was just hundreds of feet away from me at the T-Mobile Center at the Big Slick event that happened over the weekend, including Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce,
Jason
Sudeikis,
Eric Stone Street.
Yeah, they did the Big Slick softball game in the rain on Friday night.
Troopers.
Yeah, I don't really know how that went, but that's a cool event for that town every year. And
Paul Rudd, we probably should mention the biggest.
Of course, Paul Rudd the biggest of the Big Slicks
of the non-Chiefs, right? Who's bigger, Jason Sudeikis or Paul Rudd?
In the comedy group, so the Big Slick comedy group. So it's headlined by, I think it's Rudd and Sudeikis. Rudd's probably one.
I mean, he's Ant-Man.
You got like David Koechner in there too.
Whammy.
Saying whammy to everybody. You got Eric Stone Street. Yeah,
basically. How did he have time? How did Eric Stone Street have time to join the celebrity softball game?
He's on a lot of podcasts. All that was missing was the guy Kevin from The Office.
Oh, that's right. He does always show up to those.
He's
types of
always playing a celebrity golf tournament or talking about The Office somewhere. But I don't think he was in attendance over the weekend. Yeah, it's got to be Paul Rudd. I mean, he was in a Marvel movie. That kind of does it, right?
I think so.
He was in several Marvel movies, actually. Jason Sudeikis has made his fame.
He's an Avenger.
His star has really shot up in recent years.
Definitely.
I thought he was just going to be a guy on SNL for a long time, but
have one of those careers, and then he found Ted Lasso.
He's been in movies, he's been in television shows, and they've I don't think he's been in like a big movie yet. So yeah, it's probably Paul Rudd. Probably conversation over at that point. Anyway, no, I did not get a special exemption, a special invite to go. But I tell you what I did do, and I didn't get an invite for this either. Josh, since we were staying downtown and we wanted to go to some other areas of town, I used the Kansas City streetcar.
Yes.
To get from downtown to the Crossroads district. And Josh, I got to tell you, I kind of like this thing. It was free. It was easy.
Now,
I could have rode a bike down there, certainly.
Many people are expecting
that would have put me in a lot more danger.
To go the opposite way of you and say, Josh, you always talk negatively about Omaha's streetcar.
Yes, you hate streetcars.
Kansas City streetcar is great because it is free and because it goes places that people want to go.
Okay, would Omaha streetcar, how do you know if Omaha streetcar would not be free?
Because I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know.
So don't rush to judgment. And you're at the mercy of your town a little bit on quote unquote where people want to go.
I mean, 13th and Leavenworth isn't where I want to go.
Is that what? Do we have a route for that, by the way?
It exists. I don't remember where it is.
Now, the problem is you can't put it down Dodge Street. Dodge Street is already a giant disaster.
You want to? It's got the big express bus lanes already, and you can't.
Can't do that. So you're probably going to have to just redo Farnham. And all the advocates of Farnham out there are probably going to be really triggered when they put a streetcar line down. But that would probably be the way to go. So you'd go like Blackstone. You'd probably start Blackstone,
definitely,
and then it could get you through to Midtown, and then it could get you probably all the way downtown. I don't see anything wrong with that.
No. That would be a fine, let's call it a start.
That's right.
Then you go Zoo to Old Market to Nodo.
I'm kind of in on streetcars now. Josh, I had a great experience on the streetcar.
The idea is very sound when executed correctly.
Okay. All right. You're just worried about our town executing things correctly.
They have a history of not.
Well, I believe in our town. I believe in our city.
You're a bigger man than me.
Aaron writes in on the text line.
Hi, Aaron.
Red was bigger, but I thought Jason caught up with the Ted Lasso series, which is bigger than Ant-Man.
Ooh.
In terms of, he says, in terms of like character noticeability, you know, it's like, who is this?
Certainly critical.
If it's Jason Sudeikis with a mustache, it is Ted Lasso.
Critical acclaim. I mean, Jason Sudeikis has won countless Emmys for his work on that show.
Yeah.
I don't know any award that Paul Rudd has ever won.
You can't really dress up as an Ant-Man.
You can't. It's hard. It takes a lot of money to cosplay Ant-Man.
Well, you can't really miniaturize yourself. You would need a shrink ray like on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
True.
Which I don't think that technology is available to the public.
Think so.
So
if it is, let us know.
So maybe got a point there. So maybe it's not over for Jason Sudeikis. Still on the rise. Either way, they're playing celebrity slow pitch softball. Selena Gomez always goes.
Really?
I don't know if she was there this weekend. Let's find out. Big slick softball.
Yeah, can I get a line? Can I get the lineup cards?
Yeah, I'd like to see that a little bit. Let's see. All right, here we go.
Oh, we got a group photo.
Oh, we did. I didn't quite see that. Sheryl Crow was there.
Hello.
Will Forte. He kind of runs in that. He might be in the group, right? Jason Sudeikis, Paul Rudd, Heidi Gardner, who is now most famous for laughing a lot on SNL during the Beavis and Butthead
That's
sketch.
right. That's right.
Eric Stone Street, David Koechner, and of course Rob Riggle. Pow.
Pow.
Oh yeah, there you go. There's your group photo right there. Any other faces you see in there that looks like Jeremy Guthrie's in there?
Well, I mean, if your name wasn't
Is that Weird Al
in the article?
Is that Weird Al, the guy with the hair? That's Weird Al. That's for sure Weird Al.
No,
that's Weird Al.
No, that's that guy.
That's Weird Al.
No, that's the guy from Workaholics.
No, it's not. That's weird. That's Weird Al Yankovic.
I can't zoom in on it, and I need to zoom in on this photo. So I'm.
Looks like Carissa Thompson was there. That's Weird Al, dude.
I don't.
You're just not ready to say that I was right. I think Weird Al was there. Anyway,
what's that guy's name?
Weird Al's name? I don't know.
The guy from Workaholics.
Anders.
Anders
something. Anyway, sorry, we went off on a.
Blake Anderson. Anders Holm is the other guy.
That's not it. That's not that guy. It is Weird Al. That's Weird Al Yankovic for sure. All right, we will continue on. Welcome to the show, everybody. We're gonna stray off into some woods that we're not. We don't usually get to go into, but. We'll have plenty of Nebraska baseball talk. In fact, we'll start that next. I would like to, so first of all, once again, just to lay this out here first, I think that Nebraska baseball is doing fine. Do not put it on the internet that I said that Nebraska baseball is not doing fine. There should be no sense of panic today, but maybe a sense of resignation. And I think there is a good reason for that. I want to discuss that. I think we are learning some hard truths about Nebraska baseball in the conference that they're in the location that they're in circa 2024 and beyond. We'll come back with that next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
There is only one constant in the universe, and that's change.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
I'm sure many of you remember the incredibly low interest rates that were available only a few years ago. Well, things changed. Now rates are higher. But would you believe me if I told you there was a time when people were paying double-digit rates? And that's the thing. Everything changes. Rates go up, rates go down. So if you're waiting for the perfect time when rates drop before you buy a home, you might miss out on the home you really want. So when you think about it, what's a thing today might not be a thing tomorrow. See? Change is good. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists, and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Hi, I'm Nick Bermel, owner of Royalty Roofing. The recent storms wreaked havoc on our community. Our team at Royalty Roofing is here to help. We're local, skilled, licensed, and bonded. We work for you to ensure you get the funds you deserve and make sure that the work is done to your satisfaction. Don't take risks with your biggest investment, your home. We are Better Business Bureau Integrity Award winners and Best of Omaha winners. Cover your roof with Royalty. Visit us today at royaltyroofing.org.
Small business owners, we know finishing your to-do list can feel like rowing upstream, but it's a river, a whitewater river, and the only paddles you have are pool noodles. Then when a new to-do pops up, you're like, nope, I'm already rowing upstream with these pool noodle paddles. At Progressive, we don't want to make your day any harder. That's why we make it easy to get personalized discounts with a commercial auto insurance quote online, so your to-do list is smooth sailing. See if you can save on commercial auto insurance in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverages and discounts not available in all states and subject to policy terms and underwriting.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres? ¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
All right, so Nebraska baseball 1-2 at this weekend's Stillwater Regional. Apparently, like people like to say Obrate a lot. I just called it Stillwater a lot. Saw some folks make a trip over to Eskimo Joe's.
Oh yeah, very popular place.
Some Husker fans in attendance, and there is probably 6 Florida fans. And I noticed while catching a little bit of the Oklahoma State Florida winners bracket game the first time around, it wasn't even full for that. What's going on down there? Do they only show up for the Super Regionals? No, I don't know. They've been to the College World Series a few times, but I didn't get the sense that it was this. I mean, it certainly wasn't a Fayetteville like sort of intensity to it. Either way, Nebraska baseball. And first, let me say, let's go through the baseball part of it first, and then we can go bigger picture and maybe tell some hard truths here. You got the first game against Florida on Friday afternoon, and I want to just say that I thought Brett Sears was like, I mean, for him to bear down and get what he got out of that start and only give up 3 runs, the way that team was hitting the ball against him, I mean, that hats off to that guy. That is how you pitch, man. Just fine. I mean, what, they leave like 100 guys on base on Friday? And for Nebraska, they had to face a good pitcher, a guy that didn't have a real good ERA in the season, had been inconsistent, but obviously had some good top end stuff. And there starts your kind of differences between teams out of the SEC, teams like Florida, power programs like Florida, and Nebraska baseball. When we're talking about pitchers who aren't frontline Friday night guys, and Florida's, got one that they use in a different way because he is he happens to be a behemoth of a human, and he plays the field the other couple nights. Jack Caglione, Nebraska didn't see him on the mound. But the difference is after you get past your top two, your 1-2, your Friday, Saturday in the rotation, then what happens after that? Well, everybody says, well, we're out of pitching. But the difference is those pitchers that come after that for Florida and those pitchers that come after that for Nebraska are different. There is a difference there. Just like there is a difference up and down the lineup. And now I want to also say this. It's probably unfair to compare yourself to Florida as a program, right? We went goo goo gaga over them last year at the College World Series. I was in their dugout and I said, this team is monstrous. They have, obviously they had Wyatt Langford at the time, and that makes a big difference as well. But physically, they're as put together of a team, athletically, they're as put together of a team as there is in college baseball, bar none. And I know what their record was this year, and I know how they did in the SEC, but they were always going to be able to hit. It's hard to ignore that when Nebraska's facing Florida head to head. And so this is where we get into the hard truths part.
And Florida got the right ballpark to hit in.
That's true. That's true. Nebraska pitching and defense didn't do enough.
Sure.
It wasn't like they were cheap shots. It wasn't like they had a lot. The one that went 119 miles an hour off the bat certainly was not a cheap shot. And Nebraska, unfortunately, had to deal with Jack Caglione at some point instead of just walking him. After the home run, they just chose not to deal with him anymore. But actually, I guess when his next at bat, he just flipped the bat out there and lined one off the base of the wall in left field. I'm like, what is this guy? What is he holds the bat like a toothpick. That's not how all the guys look like on Florida, but that's a big physical, athletic team. And so before we dive into all this, once again, let me say this. I think Will Bolt's doing fine. I think he's done a good job at creating teams who are pretty good at winning, playing his brand of baseball. He has created the team in his image. I think this team was a good example. They were pretty good 1-9 throughout the lineup. They got some timely hitting, and they got guys hot in various different points of the year. What Gabe Swanson did over the last 2 weeks was remarkable. What Josh Caron did in Omaha during the Big Ten tournament was remarkable. He didn't do much in Stillwater. Obviously, it was a very bad weekend for him. But they're winning games against the teams that they have to win against, and they're finding their way into the postseason. And if you could tell me, basically, every year, the stock season for Nebraska baseball, the stock regular season for Nebraska baseball was that, high 30s wins, second place in the conference.
They won 40 this year.
I'm talking about regular season.
Okay. Sorry.
High 30s wins, second place in the conference, and you took care of, you won some big RPI games early in the season because those are the only chances you're going to get at those. The only rub I guess I would have with it was that, if you're a Nebraska fan, you didn't beat your in-state rivals at a high enough level. So there was that piece of it. But if you're telling me that was the season, then I am fine with that.
I'll take that for sure.
I am fine with that.
Yeah.
They might win the Big Ten regular season some years. Obviously, they ended up winning the Big Ten tournament this year.
If you can do that enough years in a row, you'll get some in-state guys to stay. Not that there's huge prospects in state right now, but
there is.
You could develop it.
I think if you the first part of what you said, if you do that, if you put yourself in that position enough times in a row, sometime there's going to be a time where you get a couple good breaks and you end up in the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. I think that's what the real thing is for Nebraska baseball. It's going to come down to postseason. But here's the rub. Like I said, it's mildly unfair to compare yourself to Florida from an athletic perspective. They were the best looking team at the College World Series last year. But like I said, it's hard to ignore that when you're facing them head to head. I don't think Nebraska is capable. It is outside the realm of possibility that Nebraska could build that type of team. And because of that, they shouldn't try. And they're not, for the record.
Now let's get this out of the way. Connor, Nebraska was the 2 seed.
Yeah.
Florida was the 3 seed.
I'm not talking
that
about
means
records.
Nebraska's better.
I am not talking about records. What I am essentially talking about is recruiting rankings. That's essentially what I'm talking about. It's not about the record. Like I said, Nebraska plays in a different world than Florida does. Nebraska plays in a different world than Oklahoma State does. They will cross paths in February from time to time, and then of course they will cross paths again in hopefully late May and into June. So I don't think that Nebraska should strive to be that kind of team. I don't think that your chances of building a team that has multiple, first round draft picks with great arms and, top to bottom and like all this stuff. Like, I don't think Nebraska should try to be that because of where they're located and the conference that they play in. This is the hard truth. People wonder why we can't do 2005 again. And it's pretty simple. Nebraska's in the Big Ten. They're in the Big Ten, and it's a conference that, Josh was talking about local in-state guys. Even those guys have gone outside the realm of the state because they don't, while Nebraska baseball is cool and it's great to wear the N on your chest, and maybe Nebraska will get a guy or two that is highly touted from the area out of that range, they got Christo, highly touted guys. They'll get one or two of those, and they'll get enough of the in-state guys to have a successful team. The high leverage guys want to go play in high leverage situations, and they want to go play in the SEC, and they want to be surrounded by the best. Nobody wants to play in the conference, man. No, nobody dreams of taking weekend road trips to Rutgers. No, nobody does that, And I'm not saying that those teams can't have good postseason runs every now and again, and I'm not saying that Nebraska can't do it either. I'm saying that their margin for error is incredibly narrow compared to those teams. So you're always going to be at the mercy of what you get in postseason play and what you're matched up against and how the pitching falls. And even when you get to those situations, your margin for error is really, really thin. Nebraska could have lost 17-2 on Friday,
Yeah.
But they had a guy who could really pitch, and he found his way through 5 or 6, right? Did Sears, and you got Niagara, and everybody was out of pitching come Saturday, and you were going to have to score 12 runs to beat that team. And who are you taking in a slugfest? We said this before the weekend. It was always going to be Florida. This is the Big Ten. That doesn't mean Nebraska can't make a run or get to a super or further one day, but it really has to line up for you, and you got to get really hot. And one thing that Nebraska can do is they can get a little bit deeper on the mound. They could use what is the talent at their fingertips, the coaching and the development at their fingertips to become a better, more complete team. But
that's where I'd like to see them really,
of course,
improve.
But if you are asking Nebraska's fourth starter to throw 96 and have a good Tuesday, have a Tuesday guy that would throw 7 innings, every weekend, or hell, even have a Sunday guy that you could depend on and is going to be like a top 3 round draft pick, it's not happening. It's not going to happen. And so, like I said, don't get me wrong. This is going to be a competitive baseball team. Will Bolt is doing a nice job at Nebraska, and they are, I think they will continue to be a school with him and with Childress. They will be a place where you can come and you can maximize, right? Whatever you are, you can maximize that. But Nebraska should be okay with shooting for the best, to be the best team in the upper Midwest and the best team in the Big Ten. Like Josh said earlier, if you do that enough, if you do it year after year, and if you put yourself in position enough and you get there enough and you are a 2 seed enough or a good 3 or whatever it might be, you make the NCAA tournament enough, you win the Big Ten enough, you will probably break through eventually. But don't get me wrong. The margin for error, the path to getting there is extremely narrow. It was always going to be extremely narrow. Nebraska had to be the 2-0 team this weekend. They had to get like 15 innings out of Brett Sears and Mason McConaughey. They started off losing, and they were never going to come back to win that regional. Maybe there was a way that they could have slugged their way to win that third game against Florida, but it's a really tough ask to beat two of those teams, and especially coming back from the losers bracket. So you got to get some things to go right. I'm not saying that my expectations for Nebraska baseball are lower. I'm just telling you that this is a hard truth. Like Nebraska is now a northeast facing program. It is not a south facing program. And people ask like, well, how did Van Horn do it? And I mean, to make it pretty simple for you, they weren't in the Big Ten. Look around. I'm not saying that nobody from the Big Ten is ever going to make the College World Series or whatever it might be. I mean, Oregon might make it this year. Mm-hmm. Oregon's in the Big Ten, right, Josh? People forget about that.
Technically.
But you are, in essence, what you are as a program over a 5-10 year run is what you are being pushed by your competitors to do.
You can drop the first game in the Big Ten tournament and claw your way back because the competition isn't as good as Oklahoma State and Florida.
But I'm talking about like a big picture 40,000 foot view. You are going to be, you're finding a way to win in the company that you're in. So if Nebraska was still Nebraska and they were in the SEC, they would have to find a way to win in the SEC. Would they have better players? You bet. You'd bet they'd have better players if they were in the SEC. So like some of it is where you're located, but it's also the company that you keep. You are going to be pushed as far as your friends or foes, your enemies will push you. And Nebraska just doesn't, like, the conference doesn't, it's not pushing each other.
Many people in the chat right now asking, do the West Coast schools entering the Big Ten push the rest of the conference, or do they drag those West Coast schools down?
I would say it's probably a little bit more of the latter.
I would agree with that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have to spend however much money Oregon is. There was a report yesterday that Oregon spent like 4 times as much as any current Big Ten school on baseball this year. Oh, Oregon's going to realize, ooh, that's some money out of the budget that we can slash.
Yeah, I mean,
and still compete.
I want to talk about that too. I mean, can Nebraska or the Big Ten baseball programs invest more into baseball? Are they capable of it?
Sure. Absolutely.
Will they do it? No. It's not where their money is made. They're on BTN Plus every night.
Right.
The
conference's own network doesn't even really care about baseball, and there's no competition. They could broadcast a series every weekend, and they don't.
Like you said, we got a lot of comments here on the YouTube that I would love to get to, but let's take a phone call. Phone eats first, as they say. The 42 Degrees Source Hotline. Here's Chris. Chris, thanks for holding. What's up? Chris, you there? Oh, thanks for nothing, Chris. I pre-thanked him.
That's right.
I thanked him too early.
Let me tell you what Chris was going to say.
Okay, tell me what Chris
he was going to say. I don't like the soft expectations, Connor. I expect Nebraska to be great in everything. Essentially. The last part was a little bit editorializing on my part, but the soft expectations of being the best in the North.
I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is just what it is. This is just what you are. I can't explain it any way better than that.
You're a Northern baseball school.
Yeah. It's and maybe we should even stop doing the Northern thing, because I think it's the Big Ten, really.
Right.
Like it's you are in the Big Ten. You are in the Big Ten.
Let me do this then. Connor, Evansville is still playing baseball. Connor, Southeast Missouri beat Arkansas.
Nebraska could be Evansville. Like, Nebraska could have been Evansville this year.
Yeah.
Nebraska could have been.
That was a tough four-teamer in Stillwater.
Nebraska could have been SEMO this. Like, they're better than those programs in general. If you play them over, like if Nebraska played Evansville over a 10-game stretch, Nebraska would win at least 7 out of the 10 times.
If they were played Friday through Sunday.
But Evansville's getting ready for a regional final right now. And so, like, sometimes baseball is weird that way. And in a 1-game playoff format, the best team doesn't always win, and you get some things to break your way, or you got some soft teams around you, whatever, like some teams that had holes around you, whatever it might be. Like I'm not telling you that Nebraska can't go to the College World Series. I'm telling you that they can. But what I'm also telling you is that it's going to be very hard and mostly lucky to get to the College World Series.
Need a little bit of dumb
There
luck.
is nothing wrong with that, because I think that's the best version of what Nebraska baseball that's the best version of itself. You work with what you got, man. And this is what Nebraska has. These are the tools, these are the weapons that they have to go to war with. And to expect them to be Florida, to expect them to be Oklahoma State, to expect them to be Arkansas or whatever, it's just not feasible.
Here's a question.
It's not feasible. Could you be Indiana State and have a great run of 2 straight years where you are a host in 1 year and you are a super regional team that year, and you are a 2 seed at a regional that probably should have hosted like the next year? Yes, of course, you could be Indiana State.
Those 2 teams should get together in the non-con, in my opinion.
Help each other out?
Yeah, a little help each other out, a little 2-game midweek.
Little bracket buster?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Josh in the YouTube chat, I think you can answer this question pretty well. Is the goal to only win against Big Ten teams or other power conference teams after making a regional? Like, you're going to build your team to win the Big Ten. Right?
Where do most of your games come from?
Yeah.
If you can't win the Big Ten, then you can't win. Like, you can't give yourself an opportunity.
It's like
you're giving yourself the best opportunity.
It's like when Nebraska football under Scott Frost was trying to run a play every 12 seconds, and the rest of the conference said, "Well, slow down, buddy. You got to play. You
learn how to speak Big Ten, buddy.
You got to win the conference.
You got to win against the teams that you need to win against to get to the point where you want to go. Because if Nebraska tried, if Nebraska like went for these, super, highly touted recruits who were going to leave after a year in the draft, or might be what you would be left with after all of the top ones commit to SEC schools or go to the draft is a bunch of highly thought of prospects that are referred to as gambles. You'd have a team full of gambles, and maybe one of them works out. So I think that, or 2 or whatever, and maybe you hit, the lottery and they all work out and they all leave after 2 years and go to the draft or whatever it might be. I would rather take the safe route. I would rather take my 40 wins every year and roll the dice out there in the regional and hope the pitching matches up and hope you can get some timely hitting and advance your way into the second weekend. I think that's the more likely route that gets Nebraska to where fans ultimately want them to go, which is back to Omaha or in a super or whatever it might be. I'm telling you that Nebraska, if they stay on the track that they're on right now, if they do exactly what they're doing right now, that team can win enough games to eventually break through and end up in that second weekend.
If
I'm
they
just
do
saying
that 3, 4, or 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
You got to do it in a row. You can't have a down year and try and bounce back. Like, it has to be consistent in order for you to find the path that breaks right for you.
I'm just telling you that it's hard. It's going to be hard. And so that's the hard truth, I guess. I mean,
what a controversial statement.
I don't think it's that crazy.
It's hard to make the College World Series.
It's really, really hard. Meanwhile, by the way, in Greenville,
oh no,
Evansville has a 1-0 lead in Game 7.
Hello,
yeah, watch out. How about that 4 seed?
Dead
boy.
center. Wow.
I don't know what's going to happen in college baseball today, but I know it's going to be wacky.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could touch on college baseball at large, and
I don't want to have to learn how to say that guy's name.
How about that? My guess would be that there is a combined 18 runs or more in that game.
Ooh.
How do you feel about that? Over under?
I would probably look at the over.
You look at the over for
I do.
18.
What's Allen got today? Oh, nothing.
Sal writes in on YouTube.
Hi, Sal.
He says, what are the portable things from season to season with a Will Bolt program?
Oh, good question.
Well, I mean, like, it is a good team. They have been good the entire time under Will Bolt, except for the year after 22, I guess.
Yeah.
Like they've been good.
The year I canceled them.
I guess I was 23 then, right? Like that's been a pretty good baseball team. And I think they're now starting to get they're really into like, the image of Will and stuff like that. Like it's like I said, it's 1-9. It's not necessarily so top heavy where you're going to have, all these guys hitting, 30 dingers or something like that. And they're going to go top rounds in the draft, even though, I mean, hell, that was the look that they had a couple years ago or last year when they had Max Anderson and Bryce Matthews. And look where that, put them. I'm not blaming them for Nebraska's failures that year. I'm saying Nebraska is better served. That ball is deep as well, by the way, but caught. I'm saying that
John Sterling?
Nebraska is served better to have a deeper team with the floor being higher rather than trying to achieve this monstrous, unattainable ceiling. And frankly, I don't think it's all that different of a conversation for basketball at Nebraska either. But that's another topic for another day.
Couple people pushing back on the try to win the Big Ten. I don't know, narrative's not the right word, but a little pushback at this from Drake on Twitter. If Nebraska was not that Drake, if Nebraska was built to win in power conferences like the Big 12, SEC, or ACC, they would win the Big Ten.
If Nebraska was built to win in power conferences, they'd be consistently able to win in the Big Ten. It's harder. Yeah, but I'm telling you that you can't build to win the SEC in the Big Ten. You can't. It's impossible. The players aren't available to you. You can't do it.
You're not going to wow them.
So you could try all you want, but you can't.
You're not going to wow them with, hey, we go play in Ann Arbor. We go play in,
You're just not you are better off. I mean, for I guess the football equivalent is like, do we want to win the Big Ten or do we want to win the Big Ten West? RIP Big Ten West. But like, think about this last year.
RIP.
Do we want to win the Big Ten or do we want to win the Big Ten West? Nebraska has decided that it's in baseball. They have decided that its floor is more important to them. And I think that is a correct assessment because of what they cannot achieve compared to its national level opponents. They're not going to win a national championship, guys.
Now, maybe this opens
like the Ohio State of college baseball is, you're not going to compete with that team on a regular basis for recruits. I'm talking about for players. Could you beat them in a one-off situation? Sure. Why not?
Now, maybe California's
Nebraska's beaten the number one team in the country before in baseball. They've done it multiple times.
Yeah. Everybody said, remember they pushed Arkansas? They pushed Arkansas. Yeah. Maybe now California's open up a little bit. Like, hey, the West Coast schools, they didn't want you.
Yeah.
Nebraska, we do.
But look at those schools. Look at those players at those schools.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a different type of play. It's not.
Yes.
It's not an SEC player. Quote
No,
unquote. Yeah.
they got a bunch of skinny second basemen.
Yeah.
That's the Pac-12. That's the West Coast winning baseball formula. They all look like the anteaters. But you know how UCLA did it? When they were rolling, pitching. They had great frontline pitching, obviously, and it's just so happened to coincide with the time in which the bats didn't hit baseballs correctly. But yes, they had Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer, and Nebraska. So Tony writes in. We got to take a break.
Yeah.
Tony writes in. He says, pitching is my top worry, but I trust Rob Childress with what he did in the early 2000s. Develop. Take those guys and take them to the next step. If they could do that with Brett Sears a year over time. Remember, Brett Sears was coming out of the bullpen with a 5 ERA last year. All right. And he turned into a frontline starter that could win every night out in the Big Ten on Friday night. Do that times 3. Do that times 4. have a guy just get a little deeper on the mound. That's it. It's not like you'll win enough games to get you back in position. Trust me. You'll win enough games to get you back in position. And then you roll those dice out there again, and hopefully you don't get big, monstrous 6'6", 500-foot home run hitting giants in your first game of the regional. I have more, believe it or not, thoughts on this as we go on throughout the show. Maybe we will even touch on it with our good friend Mike Schaefer, who makes his return. Coming up on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Funplex has asked me to give you a first-hand account of the all-new for 2024 Wipeout attraction.
Okay, hit it.
We're starting up. Spinning a little now. Whoa, a lot.
There's centrifugal forces starting to stretch my face. Holy this thing's fast. Whoa, it's tilting. We have tilting. Woohoo! This is awesome. You got to try this. Get your tickets now at fun-plex.com.
There is only one constant in the universe, and that's change.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
I'm sure many of you remember the incredibly low interest rates that were available only a few years ago. Well, things changed. Now rates are higher. But would you believe me if I told you there was a time when people were paying double-digit rates? And that's the thing. Everything changes. Rates go up, rates go down. So if you're waiting for the perfect time when rates drop before you buy a home, you might miss out on the home you really want. So when you think about it, what's a thing today might not be a thing tomorrow. See? Change is good. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists, and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
The headlines remind us daily, the world is a dangerous place. The elites in charge say everything's fine, stop noticing. But you know better. And your gut knows that time is short to prepare for a world that is 4 missed meals away from chaos. My Patriot Supply has helped over 3 million families become more self-reliant and is the company Americans trust to prepare. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contain delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Secure at least 1 food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save $200, plus get free shipping on all their Ready Hour 3-month emergency food kits. You're not ready if it's not Ready Hour Foods. My Patriot Supply also has solar power generators, water filtration units, biomass stoves, heirloom seeds, and critical survival gear. Shop mypatriotsupply.com today. mypatriotsupply.com.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Email us on the Equitable inbox with whatever is on your mind. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can hit me up, agree, disagree, tell me your thoughts on life at Hanley at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Come to Guardians.
Yeah, I have statistics to back up that we have people that listen.
Mike Schaefer.
Anytime there's sort of a debate as to who can do something, Happer would always put his name forth, for sure.
Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I could be a star. 1 week from now, when Schaefer makes his second in a row appearance on this show, I'll either be very triggered at the gap between the Cleveland Guardians and the Kansas City Royals in the AL Central, or I will be needling Schaefer because the gap is very, very small. They'll play each other for the first time this week, so no better time to bring in our old friend Mike Schaefer. Schaefer, hello, how are you?
I am doing well. It is June. That is going to be a busy month for Nebraska recruiting. The baseball team that I watch almost daily continues to win inexplicably. David Fry is now America's greatest right-handed journeyman catcher, third baseman, outfielder that no one knew of like 2 months ago. My son is good. Life is going well, Happer.
That's great.
I'm upbeat. I'm chipper. I still believe in the 2024 Nebraska team. What else can I tell you here this morning?
I don't know. I mean, I was just expecting you to kind of keep going there. It seems like your life is amazing right now.
No, things are good.
Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, he just signed a contract extension, and now, it's going to be difficult for him. He's going to have to try to make J.J. McCarthy a usable quarterback, I think, at some point in his career. First, he's got to try to do that with Sam Darnold, but it's better he's doing that for the Vikings than some of it.
Schaefer, so yeah, I saw you were parading around the halls of Central High School late last week. Did you inquire about where my Hall of Fame plaque is gathering dust?
Well, I actually just went to the football field, and upon hearing from various fellow classmates of yours, it does not seem that your Hall of Fame bust is out there for football. So maybe another time it'll be erected and you'll be out there among the greats, you and Gail Sayers, basically, in front of the stadium. But no, it was good to get over to Central. It's been a while since I've been over there, and I have a feeling I will be at Central more often going forward with some of the talent that they have put together over there. What could be a pretty fun team for Omaha and OPS especially. I mean, they're probably neck and neck with Omaha North for the best OPS team for 2024.
Oh, I love that. All right, Schaefer, so you mentioned it's a big month here for recruiting. There will be camps and Nebraska coaches will be out. Like, what is the thing that you kind of have your eye on in the first couple of weeks here of June? Is it simply like, where are the commitments going to start coming, or is it something like bigger picture with Nebraska coaches out on the road?
I have a lot of confidence the commitments are going to be half month just based on the way things are set up. They have a huge visit weekend for June 21st. I mean, I don't even know how many are expected to be in, but pretty much all of your in-state guys are expected to be there. You have a number of other important targets. I think that some of those, it's more of a, once I take that official visit, I'll be committing there amongst a group of other commits that are already going to be there type weekend. So you have that on the back end. But as exciting and as alluring as that is, what I'm mostly interested in, Happer, is over the next 2 weeks, Nebraska will have a handful of camps. And what we learned last year is this staff, maybe more than any other that I've covered at Nebraska, is more than happy to pull the trigger on offers for recruits that come through at camp, that show up, that work out, that show plus athleticism. And, there's sometimes offers that you just don't really expect. And there's people that pop up on the radar. Landon Davidson would be one of them last year. Jake Peters, camp style offers where guys that, aren't maybe well regarded yet in the recruiting world or even known about. In the case of Colin Barta, who ultimately ended up as part of the Kansas State class after Nebraska more or less offered him in June because of a big camp. There's a lot of intrigue about how the camp schedule is going to go. I know there's a lot of in-state guys. I wrote about one here from Omaha Central, and Ike Ackerman. Elijah Wayne's another one from Omaha Central. These guys have big camps with Nebraska coming up. They're looking to land offers. And then there's also the 2026s and 2027. Nebraska made a lot of first offers last year to guys who blew up and became really big recruits too. So it's just the camp season is now actually interesting, whereas it felt like Friday Night Lights carried a lot of it. And by the end of it, you know what I mean? By the end of the Frost era, Friday Night Lights was sort of a dud. So it's fun. The camp season is interesting again around here.
I agree. And that's because, this staff is big on evaluations and they trust their own evaluations and aren't, like you said, afraid to make those offers. This is the time, like this month or this period of time with camps and coaches going around to satellite camps and stuff like that. Like outside of the football season, this feels like where Nebraska's staff in particular can really get in its bag. Like they they love this part of the year, I would guess, where maybe there's some other coaches who say, it's kind of a grind, you're out and you're doing stuff all the time. Like this is kind of where the Nebraska coaching staff, at least from what we know about them, Schaefer, they kind of really do a pretty good job during this month.
Yeah, I think they pride themselves on their ability to evaluate. I think they pride themselves on their willingness to take recruits that maybe don't have large star numbers attached to them. At this point, I think they pride themselves on betting on their own eyes, and it's paid off both in terms of who they've been able to get commitments from, and also just being kind of the first ones in with offers, and that matters too. So I think that's really going to be important this month. And I think we're going to see some of these guys. It could be a few in-state players as well that walk away with offers and immediately start adding to that commitment.
Schaefer, what are your? Do you have any thoughts on Nebraska baseball? Either the end of their season, the way that their season ended, or something bigger picture with the way that they're facing going forward?
I'm in a really weird spot where the sort of like overarching take that I have is that I think Nebraska baseball is healthy in that they're doing what you anticipate they should be doing, but they're not necessarily at the point where I think they're going to punch through the glass ceiling over their head, which is, I think they're a solid 2-3 seed regional team. I think that's what they are. And I think they kind of need the stars to align to break through and be like in Indiana or a Michigan over the last 10 years or so, where you're able to punch through in regional play and super regional play and get back to the CWS. I mean, I think that's possible for Nebraska, but I don't think that they took a step closer this year. I think they just more solidified that they're a team that it's fair to expect that you should be able to reach the regionals, but they don't necessarily have a roster where they're going to be a particularly threatening team there, whether that's with the pitching or the hitting. I think the most disappointing part of the regional, and I don't think it's a bad thing they went 1-2. I mean, the Florida team they lost to has a chance to play for a super regional. I think that's a very talented team, despite their record playing in the best conference in baseball. The disappointing thing to me is that in both of those games against Florida, Nebraska took themselves out of it with poor play. Like, they didn't do enough on their end of it. They didn't control what they could control well enough to win those games. And that's just not what Will Bolt Nebraska baseball is going to be. They have to be, not just solid in the field. They have to be great in the field. They have to be good on defense. They can't give away, errors and opportunities to get out of innings. You can't walk people, particularly in front of just red hot hitters on the other team. So it's just mental mistakes that I think really kind of took them out of the weekend. I think they have the ability to be at the top of the Big Ten for as long as they want to be, but for them to make the next jump in the regional, there's got to be more than what we saw this season. And this was, a 40-win year is really nice, but I think there's better out there, and I think Nebraska baseball thinks so too.
I think we're kind of on the same page. The expectations for Nebraska baseball are always so. I mean, we talk about it every single year because people dream about, the early 2000s and going to 3 College World Series out of 5 years, and it was a different time, and Nebraska was in a different conference. Like, I think you laid out the expectations for the program really well, with that expectation of being a 40+ win team and being at the top of the conference or winning the conference tournament like every year in and year out. There's a ceiling that comes to that as well in terms of the type of the type of players that you're going to recruit in your program. Like, Nebraska's key for me, Schaefer, is just like you sort of said, be the best version of yourself, whatever that means. Develop the players that you have, and hopefully it could come together for you in these nice runs. Anytime we've seen northern teams make runs to Omaha, that's basically been the formula, and I don't think it's that much different for Nebraska.
Yeah, and I do think, it's unfortunate for them. If you have this version of Gabe Swanson all year, there is a realistic chance maybe they're a fringe 1 seed, or you're not playing in the Oklahoma State Regional against Florida, because some guys popped late and some other guys fell off, but that's baseball. And so I think the talent is going to be there for them again to consistently be a postseason team. The big jump is going to be, can they get that talent to where, okay, you're good enough to beat the rest of the Big Ten, can you really make yourself good enough to compete on the national level? And that requires finding, more hitting than what they had this year. And it's one of those things where it's all got to line up. I mean, you get a Brett Sears emerges in a year where you don't have Bryce Matthews and Max Anderson. Yeah, it's just that's just how that goes sometimes. But I think they're on the right track, and I think one of these sort of magical years isn't that far away. But it's not like it should be the expectation. I think the expectation is they should always be right there in the tournament mix and at the top of the conference, and the rest will sort itself out when the opportunities continue to come.
Schaefer, in honor of your returning, would you like to play a game of Should I Click on This Link?
Oh, my. What a surprise on a Monday. This is why I'm always in a good mood. Everything is coming up my way.
All right, so here we go. I got 5 headlines for you. If you're not familiar with the game, Schaefer, our pop culture expert.
I'm going to be even worse now than ever. This is incredible.
Honestly, I looked at all the celebrity news websites, and I'm like, who are these people and what's going on? Why are they all like TikTok stars?
Oh, welcome.
So here we go. I got 5 headlines for you, and you got to pick one to click on. First headline: Sofia Vergara created her new Colombian coffee line out of personal necessity. Quote, I have a very high bar.
Weirdly enough, I found myself watching too many Modern Family clips and wondering if I should rewatch this. So I'm intrigued, but I don't care about coffee, so I'm going to pass.
All right. Number 2. Dakota Fanning shares advice for child actors. Keep doing it, quote, as long as you love it.
It kind of gave away the advice, right? So I don't think I need more than the headline.
That's usually what happens in these stories. They can't the headline can't keep us away from telling the entire story during the headline.
Way to give it away, people.
Yeah, People Magazine for you. Number 3, Brittany Mahomes shares support for WNBA star Caitlin Clark after foul drama. Quote, keep doing your thing.
Okay, again, I think we're similar to the last one. Plus, if you want to talk about two people that I have almost no interest in knowing anything more about.
I figured this would be the hardest pass out of all of them. So I don't.
Yeah. We're definitely pass.
Spencer Pratt wants abs like Kristen Cavallari's boyfriend, but won't use Ozempic.
Pass. Good for him. Give me 5. I'm regretting not clicking on 1 now.
Yeah, you can. We'll allow you to go back and take 1 if this one doesn't suit your fancy.
No, I get 5. We got to stick to the rules of the game. We can't change it. First one back.
Here is the link that Schaefer is unfortunately clicking on. Khloe Kardashian is recovering from injury that left her, quote, hurt.
Okay, what were these injuries?
So I read
What is she doing? What does Khloe Kardashian do these days?
She's working out a lot, and she revealed.
Her and I both. Clearly.
She revealed that there was an incident that happened and left her unable to work out, even though she likes to work out. She shared on Instagram, I hurt myself and I couldn't work out the way I wanted to for almost 2 months. But there are no details on what happened in her injury, just that she can no longer work out the way she wants to. She's just hurt.
Man, the entertainment industry needs to do a little more digging.
No.
It feels a little bare bones for a story there.
I would tend to agree with you, considering the rest of the story was just about some of her other Instagrams that she's posted.
Yeah. Because we've reached a level of journalism where just reporting on the Instagrams of the rich and the famous is news.
It says her health reveal comes after Kardashian unveiled a new red hair color while out and about in Los Angeles on Friday, May 17th.
Now, like, what kind of red? Like,
I'll click on that too.
Very, very bright. Is it understated? Walk me through.
It's kind of
you've got to explain it there.
It's kind of orange. It's like it's like a deep, almost like a burnt orange. Think Texas Longhorns, that kind of thing.
Oh wow. Okay. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I would. If I were you, I'd check out Instagram just to see what's going on.
This looks fake.
I will see if I can get past the algorithm that's largely just food videos and dogs.
By the way, Slider, everything's good with Slider at the moment. He's still on Instagram. He's still posing for pictures and things.
Yeah, he's doing well. I think he's still pretty much jealous of the small child that now inhabits his house. But for the most part, Slider is doing well. And I think he expects to walk this afternoon. So
all right, Schaefer.
Got that to look forward to.
Excellent. It's good to have you back. We'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one, Happer.
Mike Schaefer of Husker 247. Regrets not clicking on the first link today about Sofia Vergara's new coffee line.
She's got a high bar.
Sofia Vergara does?
Yeah.
She has created a new coffee line called Dios Mío.
Okay.
She's calling it Dios Mío.
Great name. The standard is the standard.
I have a very high bar when it comes to my coffee, and I couldn't believe how hard it was to find quality coffee where I live in LA. That can't be true.
I would be very surprised if there was not a good, decent coffee shop in Los Angeles.
Now, do you think it would cost her more money to just get a cup of coffee in LA or to create her own coffee line called Dios Mío?
Well, there's a lot of startup costs early, but once you get that thing up and running, I mean, you got free coffee whenever you want it.
Yeah,
You're Sophia. You created the company. You can get free bags of coffee.
I would buy Sofia Vergara's coffee.
Oh, poll question. Would you buy Sofia Vergara's coffee?
Throw it up at Happer Show on the J-Tech Constructions on Twitter feed. Please vote. We'll take a break. Josh has the odd news next on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
on 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for your Monday, warm and muggy today with a high of 87, feeling closer to 90 degrees though with the heat index this afternoon. Southerly winds up to 10 miles an hour, becoming mostly cloudy tonight but staying warm with a low of 66. Mostly cloudy skies for much of the day Tuesday, breezy with a 70% chance of spotty to scattered storms, a few of which could be strong, a high of 84. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Guys, let's have a conversation. Let's say you've been losing interest in your spouse. You got low libido. You can't focus on things. And you're wondering, what is going on? It may be low testosterone. Mentality is here for you. With their FDA-approved testosterone treatment, their board-certified physicians who work with most insurance companies, they can diagnose the symptoms of low testosterone and take care of it. Schedule an appointment today. Go to the website, lowtusa.com. Take back your life, man. Mentality, lowtusa.com.
There is only one constant in the universe, and that's change.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
I'm sure many of you remember the incredibly low interest rates that were available only a few years ago. Well, things changed. Now rates are higher. But would you believe me if I told you there was a time when people were paying double-digit rates? And that's the thing. Everything changes. Rates go up, rates go down. So if you're waiting for the perfect time when rates drop before you buy a home, you might miss out on the home you really want. So when you think about it, what's a thing today might not be a thing tomorrow. See? Change is good. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists, and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, And it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to Hims. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through Hims.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through Hims.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
When it comes to protecting your home, Jay Stennett Contracting takes pride in ensuring every detail is handled. Roofing, siding, gutters. When it comes to the exterior of your home, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. Water, wind, and hail can wreak havoc on the exterior of your home. If your home is damaged, let Jay Stennett Contracting come out for a no-obligation inspection. If repairs are needed, they will help you through every step of the process. When you need an honest assessment, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. JSCRestoration.com.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here, and we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Regional baseball. He's back.
It's sloppy. Game 7.
East Carolina was in a bases loaded situation. They down to Evansville 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Pitcher throws a wild pitch. Yikes. Pitcher throws a wild pitch. Guy from third isn't sure if he wants to come score or not. Makes a decision to go, then makes a decision to stay, then makes a decision to go again. Never works out.
Yeah.
And then is tagged out by about 6 feet at home plate, where he's promptly clotheslined by the covering pitcher tagging him out at home. Maybe a flop.
Caitlin Clark would be proud of that flop. What are you trying to get out of that if you flop?
Yeah, you never know.
You tagged him too hard. You're safe.
You never know. I like the move that the San Diego guy had over the weekend, where he just laid down and avoid the tag. I think it was San Diego. I can't remember. He just laid down on the third baseline and avoided the tag. It was awesome. By the way,
these college kids are weirdos.
I got some odd news for you.
Please.
Look at this.
Look at that.
This might be the coolest thing I've ever got.
That's a Vinny Pasquantino bobblehead.
It is. And it changes. See that little, it changes.
Oh, the Pasquatch.
Yeah, the Pasquatch.
Okay.
And guess what? There's a Pasquatch over here.
Yeah.
He bobbles too.
Oh, nice addition.
Yeah.
Nice touch.
Yeah.
Now, why is he stepping just in front of the bag? Wouldn't you want to step on the bag if you're running?
You're saying they need a review here?
Seems like he's going to be short.
They need a safety bag?
He's going to, that left foot's definitely going to go over the bag.
Yeah, you might be right, Josh. It's a design flaw.
Sure.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Other
okay.
than that, great bobblehead.
It's a great bobblehead. Mm-hmm. That's the new addition to my desk.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And he hit a home run.
He did.
His bobblehead day.
They lost a lot. They lost by a lot.
Well,
I was happy.
We begin the odd news today with a look at the New Heights podcast, as we tend to do.
By the way, Matt comments in, look at this great radio segment.
We're a content factory.
Can we do that segment, please?
Look at this.
Yeah, it's called Look at This.
Connor, it's June. We can do whatever the hell we want.
Yep. That sounds like all right.
We got 2 months. We got 60 days to do literally anything.
I got a few Omaha Baseball Village shows that are on my radar for the debut of Look at This.
Well, would you look at this? Jason Kelsey has made another strong stance on this most recent episode of the New Heights podcast, claiming he never washes his feet and people shouldn't trust big soap. The former Eagles center took to the popular social media site Twitter, now known as X, on Saturday and engaged a troll who claims that Jason Kelsey doesn't wash. Instead of letting the insult lie or firing back, Jason seemed to play into it, writing, "What kind of weirdo washes their feet?" It's a perfect way to handle a troll, says this news outlet. Basically, Jason goes after big soap for hoodwinking people, claiming hot spots are good for the health, while soap and shampoo never did nothing for no one.
Okay.
This begs the question, Connor.
Yeah.
In the shower, do you wash your legs and feet?
Not every time.
No.
Not every time.
No.
I know some people who would be appalled by this.
I'm
but
with Jason Kelsey on this
yeah,
one.
I like it's not that I don't wash my feet and that I hate big soap. Like that's not the route that I would have taken here. I think soap has a place in our world, Josh.
Okay. Strong take. Good take.
But I mean, I'm just now Jason Kelsey is an all-pro center. He should probably wash his feet a little more than we do, Josh. But I mean, you wear socks.
I do wear socks.
You, in essence, sit at a computer all day.
I do.
Not like there's a whole lot of physical activity. You're not getting you're not getting too stinky. The showers don't have to be that crazy when you're like us.
Now, you may have noticed, Josh, that story was a little confusing. You did not read the tweet in full. Could you read the tweet in full?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't there a dig at somebody?
Yeah, Harrison Butker. I'm going to read it first pass, just see if you can point out the Harrison Butker slam. All of you have been fed diabolical lies that washing every crevice of your bodies and hair all the time is somehow better or healthier. Any dermatologist not in bed with big soap will agree. Hot spots are all that is necessary and actually leads to cleaner, healthier skin. Connor, did you spot the Harrison Butker slam?
All the lies that you've been told.
The diabolical
lies.
Yes.
It's good. I mean,
subtle.
Yeah, Jason's good at this.
Definitely. Also, he's right. You don't have to wash your feet.
Josh, big on the Kelseys. Interesting.
I would not go that far. Too present in society. But Josh, you control the odd news. Wouldn't you just not pull their stories? Well,
he goes where the wind blows, folks.
Yeah, I'm a slave to the news cycle. We go to Florida for story number 2, where Ryan Howard was arrested Saturday evening for spray painting a wall in St. Petersburg.
Not
the baseball.
Not Ryan Howard,
the former Philly,
former
World Series champion,
former cameo appearance on The Office.
That's right.
Eat fresh.
After being stuffed into a patrol car, an accused vandal told police that his name was actually not Ryan Howard. That was not the first name he gave police. The first name he gave them was Mr. Monopoly. It's not going to work, bud. They asked for his
Can
date.
I see some identification?
They asked for his date of birth. And Connor,
what did he say?
He said that he was born on April 20th, 1969. Ryan Howard is 33 years old.
Okay, the math. No, doesn't quite add up.
When officers confronted him, Howard had a bag slung over his shoulder containing spray paint cans that could be observed in plain view.
And he said, "I did not do this."
Wasn't me. No, he told that he was required to identify himself. He initially didn't say anything, but after being detained, he finally gave up the name Mr. Monopoly and said his birth date was 4/20/69.
That's a guy who's clearly been arrested before, and he just wanted to do a joke out of this one.
Let's see if they'll just let me go if I'm uncooperative.
Yeah.
Ask Scotty Scheffler. They will not.
Kenneth writes in.
Hi, Kenneth.
St. Pete, 2 straight weeks in the odd news. Tough look.
Absolutely.
I feel like the phrase, "we go to Florida," has been uttered a lot on this segment.
Well, might be some purposeful verbiage there every time we do have a story in Florida. We end in a place we don't normally go to, Muncie, Indiana.
Nobody goes there.
That's right. An accused thief in Indiana told Muncie police officers He was sitting in his car when he spotted a delivery truck full of beer and liquor pull up outside the Cheers bar, and a plan came to his mind. He hatched a scheme: steal the truck, sell the booze, pay off his drug debts.
And
it did not go as planned, Connor.
Oh, man. What a great idea, though.
Yeah. Bo Burchell, 39 years young.
I have the solution.
39 years young.
It's like that Billy Mays Flex Seal. He just slaps it on the side of the boat. Boom! Problem fixed. Boat fixed.
He was found by police officers hiding in a brush line in a nearby trailer park. According to the Muncie PD, Burchell was successful in swiping the box truck full of booze while it sat outside Cheers bar.
Step one.
But police spotted the truck in a field behind the Shriners Club.
Didn't make it to step two, did he?
As police arrived on the scene, officers spotted Burchell, described as a man with a ponytail, running into the woods near the edge of a cornfield. Officers found him quickly thereafter. He admitted to swiping the truck as a ploy to pay off his drug debts. He had hoped to unload the liquor and beer from inside the box truck and sell it. Also found hidden behind the Shriners Club was a skid steer loader that was reportedly stolen earlier in the day.
So this is just where he was hiding all of his things?
Yes. Burchell admitted to stealing the skid steer and cutting off the vehicle's GPS unit. The stolen skid steer allegedly has a value of $60,000, while the box truck is estimated to be worth $50,000.
Maybe this is where they put the skid loader from the Home Depot in Lincoln.
That's right. Take it to the Shriners Club in Muncie.
Yeah.
Police said the alcohol was still in the back of the truck and valued at $12,000.
So he didn't get any of that off, did he?
Does not know. And because of the value of all the things he stole, that is a felony.
Yeah, but I mean, because as I assume this was part of his initial thought process, if he steals this truck and gets the booze off, it's a lot easier than, say, like robbing a bank, right? It's not like they have dye packs in the beer that explode if they haven't gone through a certain process to get out of the truck. No. You could theoretically get that off. Now, at the same time, let's take it a step further. Who's buying booze off a guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no reputable business.
No. You're probably selling to minors, which probably adds another thing in there.
I don't know if you can sell that on like Facebook Marketplace or eBay. I don't know.
I don't think so. At a deep discount, certainly. Yeah. Josh, thanks.
Thank you, Connor.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. I would like to go through the big picture regional weekend here as Game 7s are underway today. So we'll look around college baseball just a little bit. Also, I want to talk about the Creighton announcement that came down earlier as well. Sam McKewon will join us at 1. Plenty to come in the Connor Happer Show on a Monday on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
Summer is here, Father's Day is around the corner, and there is no better place to get dad outfitted than Lindley Clothing. Or yourself. Guys, Lindley Clothing has been outfitting us men for over 88 years. And now with summer here, shorts, polos, short sleeve shirts, golf attire, they've got it all at Lindley Clothing. They're a staple in Omaha. They could be a staple in your wardrobe with the top-notch brands from Jack Victor all the way to Peter Millar. Sportswear to tailored clothing, Lindley Clothing has you covered top to bottom. Shop now at their location, 132nd and West Dodge in the Linden Market. It's Lindley Clothing.
Host is roasting every morning. At Host Coffee Services, every cup of coffee served comes with a promise of quality, innovation, and a dash of fun, ensuring your workday is as delightful as your coffee break. Call Host Coffee Services today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee Services is always roasting something good for you.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Velocity Clinical Research in Omaha frequently conducts clinical trials for a broad range of investigational treatments. Velocity is currently seeking participants to wear a Fitbit watch for 31 days with compensation of up to $200. Some other current studies include low T, COPD, flu, pediatric, infant, and RSV. They also perform vaccine studies for people of all ages. See current trials at velocityclinicaltrials.com, compensation for study-related time and travel, and find out more at velocityclinicaltrials.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Regional baseball is on the air for Game 7s here
It's
on
not the
Monday.
Detroit Tigers, but it'll do.
No, unfortunately, we'll have to deal with very important games between wacko teams. This is why we love college baseball. It was nice to have Mike Farron send us into the night last night in the regional final between Grand Canyon and West Virginia. That's the 3 and the 4 out in Tucson.
Hell yeah, that was like double digits, right?
That was a wacko regional.
Yeah.
It was 10. I think it ended up at 10-6.
Oh, okay.
But Grand Canyon got some runs. Remember Nebraska played them earlier in the season. They have that giant, not the giant. He's kind of is a little larger. That's
a little portly fella.
Yeah, not little either. A big
Sure.
portly fella.
Sure.
Home run in the 9th last night. I like that guy. I like when big dudes hit home runs. All right, so here's your notes from over the weekend. Here's what happened if you're just catching up with college baseball. A bunch of regionals ended in predictable form. The following national seeds won via sweep. They did not lose a game in their regional. Number 1 overall seed, Tennessee. Number 2 national seed, Kentucky. Number 3 national seed, Texas A&M, although there was some intrigue there in the 1-0 winners bracket game with Texas. Pooping down their pants a little bit. Clemson, the 6th national seed, swept through their own regional. Georgia, the 7th national seed, swept through their regional. Florida State, the 8th national seed, swept through their regional. North Carolina State swept through the Raleigh regional, and Virginia swept through the Charlottesville regional. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 national seeds who swept through. And Oregon State still has a chance to do so today. They will pick up their game in the bottom of the 4th in a couple hours against UC Irvine. If they win, they sweep through. If they lose to UC Irvine, a game 7 will be played later after that. So it still could be a sweep for Oregon State. This weekend was the weekend of the threes, Josh. The weekend of the threes.
Dale Earnhardt.
Obviously, it did not. Praise Hail, praise Dale.
Allen Iverson.
Unfortunately, Nebraska was a victim to that. But we already have a few 3 seeds that have reached the super regional round. Kansas State, after taking down Arkansas in the 1-0 game in that bracket, advanced through by beating SEMO, Andy Sawyers and SEMO in the regional final after Southeast Missouri took down Arkansas in the step before the regional final. Over the weekend, that was a little bit wacky in Fayetteville.
I wonder how Fayetteville feels today.
The 3 seed in the Santa Barbara regional, Oregon, Big Ten, sweeps through the Santa Barbara regional, and had the clinching game last night against Santa Barbara themselves. So they sweep through as a 3 seed. They'll be headed to College Station for their super regional. And West Virginia, Mountain Mama, was the 3 seed in the Tucson regional. That regional had been dubbed the Regional of Death.
Yeah.
With really good teams 1 to 4.
Right.
Including Grand Canyon, the 4 in that regional who ended up making the regional final. Arizona, Dallas Baptist, West Virginia sweeps through, and Grand Canyon was in the regional final. That means the 1 seed in the Tucson regional, of course, Arizona, 2-Q.
Yeah.
At their own. Now, that would be a tough result.
That would be one where, hey, we got to start asking some questions.
Would you rather do what Nebraska just did, or would you rather be Arizona today?
Oh, you'd rather be Nebraska, right?
Yeah, I think so. If Nebraska hosts a regional ever, God help me if they go 0-2 in that regional. Even if it is against a good a good 4 seed, and then you end up playing the 2 in the elimination game, Dallas Baptist. Please help us around here if that ever happens to Nebraska. That would be pain. Big pain. So 3 seeds are already into the super regional round. West Virginia will await the winner of North Carolina and LSU in a game 7. Today they'll be headed to either one of those locations. So in all, 9 regional 3s made regional finals. 9 3 seeds in regionals made regional finals. UConn was in the driver's seat in Norman. They lost game 6 last night, game 7 today. James Madison, UCF, Georgia Tech, Coastal, Florida, and then the 3 that had advanced, K-State, West Virginia, and Oregon, all advanced to regional finals. Those were all 3 seeds. And 3 regional 4 seeds made regional finals, including Evansville, who has a chance to still make a super today, as it's 2-2 in the bottom of the 3rd against East Carolina. Southeast Missouri made it a regional final, and Grand Canyon made a regional final. That means the 3s outweighed the 2s by a long shot. The 3s outperformed the 2s this weekend. 6 regional 2 seeds only made regional finals. And only UC Irvine and LSU are still alive going into regional round Monday. So game 7's on deck today. East Carolina and Evansville is going on right now. The next one that will start will be Florida and Okie State and Stillwater. 5 o'clock, North Carolina, LSU. Everybody's going to be watching that one, I think. And then the potential game 7 between Oregon State and UC Irvine would start at 5, but that game might not even happen because if Oregon State wins and they have a lead right now,
Right.
that game will not be necessary. And then the nightcap will be in Norman tonight, UConn and Oklahoma.
I kind of like those uniforms UConn was wearing last night.
Oh, they got some good looks.
Pinstripes and that old school C, like it was like from the 20s or something.
Yeah. No, they're sharp. I remember. I think I bought a UConn hat a couple what they had that store that was right across from the front gate of the ballpark by the statue, and they had a whole wall of hats.
Yeah.
I went in there and I saw the one that had the C on it. I was like, I kind of like this hat. Simple.
C for Connor.
C for Connor. That's probably why I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your regional recap. There's some wackiness upon us, and there's also a fair amount of chalk as well. Like I said, it was not very difficult for. It certainly wasn't very difficult for either of the top two national seeds. It wasn't very difficult for Texas A&M, who is the 3. We knew North Carolina was going to have their hands full with LSU. And the 5 in the tournament was not Georgia. The 5 in the tournament would have been down here. Boy, was I? No. I can't remember who the 5 in this tournament was. Anyway, it was Arkansas. They lost.
Okay.
To Kansas State. So a lot of stuff from regional round. Now I ask you this, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
How's your bracket doing? Remember your bracket that you were excited about making your bracket?
That's right.
How'd it go?
Oh, bracket's looking solid, my friend.
Really?
Only lost one CWS team so far. That was Arkansas. Feeling good.
You lost. You had the Omahogs.
I did. I had the Omahogs returning.
Did you see quickly on the Omahogs? Did you see the line of questioning that Dave Van Horn received following the loss to Southeast Missouri?
No, but I bet it was pointed.
Oh, it was pretty pointed. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Should I look that up later? Is it spicy?
I mean, the questioning was the questioning was.
Was the questioning too spicy? Was it
I
out
don't
of
think
bounds?
so.
Okay.
I don't think so. But I mean, we Arkansas fans are they're very passionate about their baseball team.
Sure.
We do have to be honest with ourselves. You can't go to the College World Series every year, but people like to remind Dave Van Horn that as much as they're a mainstay around here, they have not won a national championship.
Yes. Remember that time that they should have?
Oh boy, I do. That was, in retrospect, should have had that one.
Yep. Probably. Now, I've got a lot of interest in today's games. I have East Carolina, Oklahoma, and LSU getting to Omaha. So I could lose an entire half of my College World Series bracket today.
Okay.
I only have 3 teams in the supers right now, but that number could go as high as 8 with the games, depending on how they shake out today.
So you're feeling okay?
I'm feeling okay. I'm for having, I don't want to say no knowledge. Like I pay some attention to college baseball throughout the year, but it was pretty much just going on my gut. I wasn't looking at, like Schreiner was in here last week and he said, yeah, just look at like team ERA. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. It's very much a either or. Okay. My gut says that. My gut says that. My gut says that.
I don't blame your gut for picking Arkansas to advance out of their region.
Yeah. Felt like the experience would carry them to Omaha against
my gut
that bracket.
And Hagen Smith too. My gut certainly would not have led me to pick Kansas State and Southeast Missouri to match up in a regional final there, but that is precisely what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't very difficult for a couple of the top national seeds, and we do have some very intriguing super regionals that are already set up for us. Georgia and NC State should be fun. Virginia, K-State. I think America's probably rooting for K-State.
Definitely. I'm sorry. I know we love the Brian O'Connor story, but I've heard it a time too many. I'm ready for some new blood.
Texas A&M and Oregon. It's a super regional that is already set for us.
Trev Alberts or the Big Ten? Who you rooting for?
I think you got to go to the Big Ten, right?
That's right. Trevor.
Unfortunately, they'll have to do it while drowning in a sea of bubbles.
Yes, that was an interesting quirk.
That's what they do. That's what they do down there. Not a cult, by the way. Texas A&M definitely, certainly not a cult.
If you say so.
Definitely not a cult, but there's a lot of bubbles that happen from time to time down there. And sometimes the wind's blowing, and then sometimes you'll have to pitch, and you'll have to throw the baseball through a sea of bubbles.
I'll bet they love that.
I bet all of the visiting teams who come to town indeed love it. So, did we learn anything? I mean, yeah, of course we have teams that advance, but I mean, it was definitely the year for the threes, over the twos. Not the year to be a 2, Josh. Unfortunately, Nebraska was a 2.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Did anybody show you anything this weekend? Do you feel a different way about a team than you did on Thursday?
You're talking like a good team,
A good team or a bad team? Like,
no, I mean, it's baseball and it's the postseason.
Right.
Things could happen short periods of time. We were talking about Nebraska earlier, Nebraska baseball. I do have one more spare question on them that we can get to coming up after the break. Also, I wanted to touch on the news that Creighton put out there this morning. We can get to the Caitlin Clark experience, which includes being on the ground a lot these days.
She's always on the ground.
Sam McKewon will join us at 1. Still plenty to come on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. 2 locations in the old market right off of Jackson Street and also in Benson right next to Taste of New Orleans. You know, one of the toughest things about the summer is trying to figure out what you're going to do with the kids, right? You got to fill some time. It's a great time to go visit either one of the Ted and Wally's locations. Your kids are going to love getting some ice cream. You're going to love getting out of the house. It is a win-win for both of you. So whether you're going downtown and checking out the old market and getting you some ice cream or going to Benson and getting some Taste of New Orleans, stop by and tell them Severe sent you.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Nick Brumell, owner of Royalty Roofing. The recent storms wreaked havoc on our community. Our team at Royalty Roofing is here to help. We're local, skilled, licensed, and bonded. We work for you to ensure you get the funds you deserve and make sure that the work is done to your satisfaction. Don't take risks with your biggest investment, your home. We are Better Business Bureau Integrity Award winners and Best of Omaha winners. Cover your roof with Royalty. Visit us today at royaltyroofing.org.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The headlines remind us daily, the world is a dangerous place. The elites in charge say everything's fine, stop noticing. But you know better. And your gut knows that time is short to prepare for a world that is 4 missed meals away from chaos. My Patriot Supply has helped over 3 million families become more self-reliant and is the company Americans trust to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contain delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Secure at least 1 food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save $200, plus get free shipping on all their Ready Hour 3-month emergency food kits. You're not ready if it's not Ready Hour Foods. My Patriot Supply also has solar power generators, water filtration units, biomass stoves, heirloom seeds, and critical survival gear. Shop MyPatriotSupply.com today. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Welcome back. Connor Happer, Josh Hudson here with you on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Josh, there was I have also, have you seen the news coming out of Crime Town this morning?
No, give me the Crime Town update.
So no crime here.
Oh, okay.
But it is odd.
Oh.
It's from the Lincoln Scanner account at LNK Scanner, who's covering all of the the police scanner in Lincoln. So what's going on? It's probably eventful, crime town, right? There was a call in from the Buthurus Masser and Love Funeral Home.
You have my attention.
At 4040 A Street just a little while ago. And this is all the information we have as of this point. An individual believed to have been deceased now has agonal breathing. I don't know what agonal breathing is in comparison to regular breathing. I do know what breathing is, though.
Agonal breathing, also known as gasping respiration, is a medical term for abnormal breathing that occurs when someone is struggling to breathe due to a serious medical emergency, such as cardiac arrest or stroke.
Okay. So it seems as if this situation that was previously resolved has now become unresolved.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna want to know that body's dead before you bring it in.
Yeah. I think they're lucky that it didn't go whatever step was after that. Oh, we do have another tweet from the Lincoln Scanner here.
Oh, please,
right,
yeah, we need an update.
I just got this. According to call details, the believed to be deceased individual was put on a table when they noticed agonal breathing. We are still waiting to hear on the scanner whether they are going to transport the individual to the hospital. According to LPD's scanner, Lincoln Fire and Rescue intubated the individual who was described to be semi-conscious.
Whoa.
By LPD.
That's huge.
That is huge. We may have just gotten someone back.
All right.
So hopefully nothing was too far done one way or the other. And everything everything could be restored if indeed this works out for the party who was at the funeral home as a patient member.
That's wild. Just
thank you for your comment, Josh. I also believe it to be wild.
How did we get here is really my question. Not whose fault is it? Because I want to lay blame.
Oh, Josh wants heads to roll.
I feel like there are several things that need to happen before someone gets to a funeral home.
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
I think that's a solid take by you, Josh. I tend to agree with you. There should be probably more steps before you get all the way to the funeral home. Like I said,
a lot of questions.
I'm just glad that we didn't get to the next step.
Yes.
Whatever that next step may have been. Just glad that we didn't get there while there's still a chance.
I do feel like we were right on the goal line.
Yeah.
And
they were like Riley Van Poppel last year against Illinois.
Glad we didn't go over
the
line.
Yep. Lucky they had Riley Van Poppel there. What are some other famous goal line stands of all time? I can only think of the Riley Van Poppel, Illinois one.
That cannot be the most famous.
That has to be the most famous, right?
No. If I could type, this would go quicker.
Poll question, when you just hear me out here. When you think of goal line stands, do you think of the Riley Van Poppel goal line stand? Now, there's probably the Patriots Super Bowl one.
Sure. That might be the biggest.
Now, to be fair, that was not fourth down.
Right.
That was not fourth down. So it was a goal line stand, but they didn't have to really complete the stand. They got the pick
and the turnover,
and it was just over. Like you didn't really have the.
Now I googled famous goal line stand.
What's the best goal line stand of all time? Because I think it's Riley Van Poppel.
The top two results are the 1979 Sugar Bowl.
That's not very famous to me, Josh.
I don't know what it means.
What happened in the 79 Sugar Bowl? Is John Bishop out there somewhere? He could tell us.
The Nittany Lions they had one play. 4th and inches. Joe Paterno called upon tailback Mike Gumon to plot up the gut into the heart of the Crimson Tide's defense, but All-American linebacker Barry Krause emerged from the trenches to stunt Guman's process.
All right, I'm going to watch this now. Epic 1979 Sugar Bowl, Alabama, Penn State. Man, I got some stuff to learn.
That's what we're doing here in the summer. We're all learning things about everybody.
I think the best goal line stand of all time was Riley Van Poppel last year against Illinois.
We'll put it up to the poll here.
When you think goal line stand, you think Riley Van Poppel making that play last year against Illinois. I mean, that was kind of season changing, right?
I don't know about season change, but it
Okay,
definitely
so
winning that game definitely spurned some things.
In retrospect, it probably wasn't season changing, but it got them to 3-3. They won the game. It got them to 3-3.
I remember that win was like there was a lot of momentum coming off of that win. Like,
I think
yes, we got that one.
That was the if we die, we die game, right?
Might have been.
Because that was the week coming off of Michigan where they got wrecked and they had to practice on the Sunday. And then
Sunday practice.
And then, the Sunday practice. It's epic. And you played on Friday, remember. That's another reason why Matt Rule is crazy. and he did that we die, you die thing, which actually
we die, we die.
I don't know if that was that game or not. Now that might have been the Northern Illinois game.
Just fun to play the clip.
Anyway, but like it was a good game. It was a dogfight all the way throughout, and Nebraska looked maybe like they were going to let it slip again. And Riley Van Poppel, the greatest goal line stand of all time. Then they beat Northwestern and Purdue. Nebraska was 5-3 when they woke up on October 29th. Now, what did it do in terms of the rest of the season? Not much. But I would not have liked to see what that season ended up becoming had they not had Riley Van Poppel stand up against Illinois.
Certainly could have gone off the rails. A lot of people might have hit the ejector mentally on the season.
I think so. And maybe on the Matt Rule era entirely.
Whoa.
I don't know what people are up to.
People are crazy. We fire coaches left and right nowadays.
We do. All right. So there you go. I hope everything turns out okay in Crime Town for whatever that means and whatever needs to happen. I hope maybe Crime Town just got one of its residents back. We'll see.
Maybe you have like a sheet, like a to-do checklist when you're transferring bodies in Crime Town. I don't know how Omaha does it, but I imagine there's a checklist.
Earlier this morning, Creighton had an announcement for us. We didn't. We spent a little time on this in the crossover, but in a couple weeks, at Creighton's men's basketball practice facility, University leadership, donors, friends, fans will dedicate the McDermott Center, named for Coach Greg McDermott and his family. The name comes almost exactly 10 years after the facility opened, which is, of course, currently known and formerly known, I guess, as the Championship Center, which was a $13 million, beautiful practice facility for Creighton basketball. Women's basketball team uses it too, of course. But it was just kind of plainly named the Championship Center, and now it'll be known for Greg McDermott. I thought the question was brought up very interestingly right away when we said this. So he's not going to take other jobs at this point. When you have a building named after you, I think that's kind of it, right?
I mean, it's
whenever I could see him retiring at any point.
It trumps a statue.
Yeah,
he has I understand the structure of it isn't a lifetime contract, but it was
like there's no Altman Center,
right?
I could see Mac retiring at any point.
After the first 7 games of the next season.
Yeah, I mean, not next year. Probably not before the end of next year. But I could see him retiring. But that's what it would be, right? There's not going to be any like, oh, he might go to Ohio State again for the 4th time. When you have a building that's named after you,
you tend to not go anywhere after that.
This is at the request of the Scott family, who had the biggest gift toward building the $13 million facility. They recently requested that the building be named after Coach McDermott. a longtime friend of Ruth and the late Bill Scott, who passed away in February at the age of 93. And so there's going to be Creighton's going to have an active coach who has the entire building named after him. He'll be going into his 15th year this year. And it's, of course, like it's the McDermott family facility as well, which
I'm guessing,
I don't know if you heard about his kid.
I'm guessing they were going to name it the Greg McDermott Center or something like that. And he said, no, we're not doing that.
This will be the so in this release it says his return to Creighton for the opening of Doug's return to Creighton for the opening of the McDermott Center will also mark his own 10-year reunion. He graduated just a few weeks before that facility originally opened. Doug said, "I could not be more grateful for the Scotts for their generosity and the recognition of our family. Creighton's a special place, and I had so many fond memories. This moment will definitely be one of them." This is pretty cool, right? And so if there was any doubt about, like, I don't know, Mac takes this unwarranted, like, these jabs every year or whatever. I guess it's just part of being a high-level college basketball coach, but, you know, people are like, oh, this guy can't coach or whatever.
Oh, you mean jabs like Douglas has in the YouTube chat?
Oh, no.
Yeah, we
talked about Creighton and Doug is back.
Rent-free in Douglas's head. Yeah, there's an homage to Hayden Fry outside Iowa Stadium, too. Celebrate mediocrity.
Hayden Fry was pretty good.
Poll question, was Hayden Fry pretty good?
Oh, you know how that one's going to come back. That's not going to come back in Hayden Fry's favor, unfortunately. Man, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about it other than what an incredible honor and what great, like, confirmation of, like, this is how we feel about you. This is how important you are, not only to our university and our basketball program right now, but the history of how the school is being shaped. Like, that building is going to exist for a long time. Creighton will undergo changes on their campus. That building, the McDermott Center, will be there for a really, really long time. And, you know, like, that is a pretty good, like, when you really think about it, because I always talk about how I think about Creighton basketball and, like, this just, like, what was it 20 years ago and what is it right now? It's super fitting that building is named after him, in my opinion.
Definitely the program has changed since the time he arrived, and after his time at the university, they'll be able to tell the story of his career, and it will make a lot of sense that the practice facility is named after him.
Let's take a quick timeout. We will come back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The bottom line is, for 6 months of YouTube TV, 5 of Prime Video, 1 month each of Peacock, ESPN Plus, and Netflix, comes to a grand total of $506.86. And then if you want to add the Sunday ticket, you're looking at $855 if you want access to every single NFL game played this season.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for your Monday, warm and muggy today with a high of 87, feeling closer to 90 degrees though with the heat index this afternoon. Southerly winds up to 10 miles an hour, becoming mostly cloudy tonight but staying warm with a low of 66. Mostly cloudy skies for much of the day Tuesday, breezy with a 70% chance of spotty to scattered storms, a few of which could be strong, a high of 84. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
For the second year, the Nebraska Lottery's NASCAR Powerball Playoff promotion has roared into our state, and the excitement is throttling up. Until June 24th, buy a Powerball ticket with Power Play and Double Play. Enter the voucher number, and you could be one of 15 Nebraska winners of $1,000 and the chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Cup Series Championship weekend, plus a shot at $1 million. Enter today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Family, it's Miss Jackie with Rib Shack Smokehouse. Call me today to cater your graduation picnic or special events, or come visit me at Rib Shack Smokehouse in the Old Roxbury Plaza for lunch or dinner. Dine in or carry out. Have a meal to remember. Rib Shack Smokehouse offers slow-cooked St. Louis ribs, smoked wings, catfish, turkey ribs, collard greens, mac and cheese, and more. Rib Shack Smokehouse brings that unique Southern taste to the Midwest. Welcome to the Rib Shack.
It's golf season, and that means it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa. It's sports betting the way it should be. The odds makers with the lowest holds and the best odds for every tournament. Plus, high betting limits, exceptional customer service, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Get ready for all the biggest golf tournaments with Circa Sports Iowa. Visit circasports.com today. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633. All right, let's take a deeper dive. And the question was, Hayden Fry good? Welcome back to June 3rd here in the Connor Happer Show.
Not sure we need to.
Why not? I think it's a very fair question from Douglas.
I don't know that the comment warrants a response, but please.
Oh, no, I think it does. So here's a line of comments from our friend Douglas. Yeah, there's an homage to Hayden Fry outside of the Iowa Stadium to celebrate mediocrity. Yep, in the Big East, Creighton will be super average for a very long time, since that's definitely happened for the last 10 years since Creighton's been in it. Seriously, Hayden Fry, Iowa, he took us from bad to mediocre. At least KSU Bill, I think that's Bill Snyder, not Bill Schneider, as he writes in the next one. Hayden Fry took Iowa from awful to mediocre. Even Kansas State Bill Schneider took the Wildcats to the national stage. So let's do a bit of a deep dive on that. Yes, you are right, Douglas, that Iowa didn't have much to its name before Hayden Fry showed up, unless you count the tenure of Forrest Ivashevsky.
I do, but I'm a special case. I understand.
Who did win a couple Rose Bowls in the late 50s. But then after that, they handed it over to Jerry Burns and Ray Nagel and Frank Latterburr and Bob Cummings. This is over a span. Wow. Let me know if you think this sounds familiar. So after Forrest Ivashevsky, 1961, Jerry Burns takes over. And then Hayden Fry took over in 1979. That's almost 20 years, right, Josh?
Yes.
During those 20 years, Iowa had a winning record. Guess how many times? Or during those, it's probably 18 seasons?
I'm going to go with 0.
You're very close. It was 1. And it was in the first year after Forrest Ivashevsky retired.
Or so left. It was a Larry Coker type.
Actually,
class.
Let me make sure what happened. Let me see what happened to Forrest Ivashevsky here. Yeah, he was done after 1960. I don't know what happened to him.
I don't know.
It's possible he died. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, he's definitely dead.
I mean, it's
He
possible
died in
that
2009.
Yeah, but like, where did he go? Did he just quit after 1960? Do you have his Wikipedia page
I
up?
do. He did not coach anywhere else.
Okay, so he was just done.
He became Iowa's athletic director.
Okay, that was a very normal thing to happen.
He
back
hired
then.
his assistant coach, Jerry Burns, to replace him as the head football coach.
Jerry Burns was living off of Forrest Ivashevsky for a long time. And by long time, I mean 1 year. Because after that, it really got bad for Iowa. Jerry Burns was fired after they went 1-9 in 1965.
Forrest briefly worked as a color analyst on ABC's college football coverage.
Look at that. Then they turned it over to Ray Nagel. Ray Nagel had a couple of 500 seasons, but nothing more. Then they turned it over to Frank Lauterbur, and he was really bad. Frank went 1-10, 3-7-1, 0-11, 3-8, 3-8, 5-6, 4-7, 2-9.
Killed the program.
And then Hayden Fry came in. And then you'll notice that something very different happened when Hayden Fry came in. The first 2 years were a little lean.
Well, you're building something.
And then they went to the Rose Bowl in the third year. Then they went to the Rose Bowl again in the fifth year. And then went to the Rose Bowl again in 1990. And they went to several other bowls during Hayden. It wasn't just the Rose Bowl, even though that is really the delineation between good and bad in the Big Ten in the 80s and the 90s. But I'm going to say that taking Iowa from where they were to where they went to under Hayden Fry is indeed the mark of a good coach. Would you agree, Josh?
Yes.
Okay.
Good coach. Yes.
I would say that what Greg McDermott has done at Creighton resembles in no way what Hayden Fry did at Iowa football. In no way, shape, or form whatsoever. After coming through the evidence, after checking the tapes,
Connor's ready to rule.
I would say that those two career arcs resemble each other in no way, shape, or form. Black 41 Flash Reverse wonders.
Hi, Black 41 Flash Reverse.
How many natties did Hayden Fry win? The answer,
quick math,
will surprise you.
Will it?
On this BuzzFeed list that we're creating here. Hayden Fry actually 0 national championships. So that might change your opinion.
Y'all got weird bars for stuff.
You can be good without winning national championships, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys like this is
That's what the word great means.
Yeah, like you could be really good for a really long time without ever really even sniffing a national championship.
It's a big sport.
There is success to be had outside of the playoff or out of the BCS or whatever it might be.
I don't even know what I'm arguing for anymore.
Star Wars Fiend. No, by the way, we are not comparing, just to make this very, very clear. We're just humoring Douglas for a moment. I also really like how he called Bill Snyder Bill Schneider that time. But Star Wars Fiend would like to join the Team Doug here.
Hi, Star Wars Fiend.
He hasn't even won a Big East Conference title, though. That's actually not true. They did do that in 2020. Now,
Connor.
This is all of that happened before COVID. They won. There's a banner and the thing that says it. It's right there.
There's an in-season tournament banner for the Lakers.
Okay, but like they won that too, Josh. They won. They tied, but they won at least a share. Do you count 1997 as a national championship for Nebraska?
You bet your ass
Of course you do. They won the Big East. They split the Big East. They won. So, first of all, not true. Second of all, that's a pretty high bar. That's all. Jim and O'Neill writes in.
Hi, Jim.
Douglas is an idiot.
Whoa.
And no, I'm not a J-sker. Just wanted to put that out there. I really like when we ask the question, Was Hayden Fry pretty good? The one and only response right now saying, how many natties?
Many natties.
Quite literally, nothing could be more on brand.
Douglas
than that
is back.
Okay.
You can be good, but do you deserve a statue or a bic ding?
I think it's trying to say building.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, sure.
I think it's trying to say building. Yeah, well, it's been a long time. They've been pretty good for a long time, and they were never supposed to be in this conference. Let me just say that I fully support this, that they put the name on the building, okay?
They got to name the building something.
How could you be mad? Yeah, how could you be mad about this? They're good. They've been good. They will continue to be good, and it's because of that guy. I think that gets you a building.
Or
they don't count how many national championships Hayden Fry won, and they don't include that into the decision-making process of whether to put a statue out in front of the Kinnick Stadium or not. They just say, were you good in the context of this place ever?
Might I remind you, the building is named the McDermott Center, so you can tell yourself it's named after the coach and his son.
Yeah.
The greatest player in Blue Jay history.
But he was just okay.
He was just okay. I mean, he didn't win a natty.
He didn't win a natty.
I mean, he wore a Creighton jersey on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Not a natty, though.
Not a natty.
Back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
If your home was severely damaged or destroyed during the tornadoes on April 26th, United Way of the Midlands is providing $1,000 per household in emergency financial assistance through their Nebraska and Iowa Tornado Relief Fund. Complete an application to request assistance for expenses such as copays or deductibles, security deposits, and costs not immediately covered by insurance or FEMA. For more information and to complete your application, go to unitedwaymidlands.org/tornado relief or call 211.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Guys, let's have a conversation. Let's say you've been losing interest in your spouse. You got low libido. You can't focus on things. And you're wondering, what is going on? It may be low testosterone. Mentality is here for you. With their FDA-approved testosterone treatment, the board-certified physicians who work with most insurance companies, they can diagnose the symptoms of low testosterone and take care of it. Schedule an appointment today. Go to the website, lowtusa.com. Take back your life, man. Mentality, lowtusa.com.
Hey, so earlier in the show, we got a YouTube comment from Theo right when we started off, and it said, "Guys, I love the show, but I got some hot goss that I'm ready to throw in the chat today. Get ready." And then Theo disappeared for a while. And we said, Theo, what happened? I thought you had some hot goss to spill in the chat today.
Many accused him of capping.
And yeah, people were saying that he was capping. And then I missed it. Apparently he did come back. And Josh, what beans did he spill?
Theo, who has been on, he's been on this from day one. Where'd it go? I was just reading it to you. He told us, it goes back to the story about the Minnesota Gopher podcast.
We know nothing about this,
Right.
by the way. I just want to be very clear what Josh is about to say. We know nothing about.
Don't know if it's true.
It
Don't
is
know if it's
simply
alleged.
a listener theory that is out there, and just we're not signing our names to this at all.
I have tried to Google news stories about this so that we could talk about it in a more professional manner, but nothing has ever come up.
It's so underground.
Yeah.
that-
So we thank Theo for this nugget. Related to the Gopher podcast wife who was arrested for streaming a coke binge with YouTube lawyer Rakita 2 weeks ago. Major news in Minnesota and big podcasting. Big, of course, spelled B1G.
What is a YouTube lawyer?
Great question.
Streaming a coke binge? Is that one of the terms that was used?
That is one of the terms that was used, yes.
YouTube lawyer streaming coke binge. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, this is really something to chew on.
Nick Rakita Law, a Minnesota lawyer and owner of Rakita Law, discusses legal topics and breaks down lawsuits, often over scotch, according to his YouTube channel.
Wow. So he gets hammered and
seems wildly irresponsible.
Yeah, for a lawyer. I mean, that's pretty hot.
Asian Joe asks an excellent follow-up question.
Okay.
Is it major news in Minnesota if you can't find anything about it on the Google?
It can't be. It can't be.
Jefferson Steelflex, you guys should stream a Coke binge. I'd tune in. We will not be doing that.
We will not be.
We would
but
never.
it would definitely do numbers.
It would.
It would do really well. Unfortunately, that's what gets the people going these days. You guys are just here for content, I suppose.
I mean, we're delivering good content day in, day out. We don't need Coke.
That's true. You guys watch it anyway, so thank you. It's appreciated.
Unless it's Diet Coke.
From the text line from the 402.
Hi, 402.
Nebraska should name their basketball practice facility after the last basketball coach that took them to the Elite Eight.
Oh.
Or maybe the last basketball player who was named National Player of the Year. Oh, wait. Well, maybe the last men's basketball coach who won an NCAA tournament game. Oh, wait. I'd say it's a pretty good chirp.
Now, what
if we're doing this.
What a great carrot to dangle in front of everyone. You could put up leave a huge space and center and just, hey guys, you want a building named after you? It's right there. Huge blank space.
There's a Mad Lib that's just sitting up there waiting for you.
We'll slap your name on the side of this building the very next day.
Right on it. You can, in fact, we don't even have to put your name on it if you don't want it that way. We can just give you the naming rights. You can sell them. That's basically what ESPN is doing with their slice of the with some of their slice of the college football playoff. They have a big pie. ESPN does.
Love a big pie.
They have a big pie, and they've eaten the majority of that pie. But some of the pie, they've decided, we don't want to eat this whole pie. We'd like to take a slice of this pie and sell it to somebody else.
It would be rude of us to eat this entire pie by ourselves.
Right. We didn't get to this story last week, but while TNT's future partnership with the NBA is in doubt, they are indeed making a move for college football playoff games. Huh? College football playoff games? I know what you're thinking right now. Does TNT broadcast football games at all?
Nah.
No, not even a little bit. ESPN, the home of the national championship, retains the biggest piece of the pie. And the best piece of the pie, of course, the real juicy parts of the pie. But they've sold off a bad inedible piece of the it's not inedible because there will be playoff games on TNT. Now there is no exact terms on what ESPN got. Remember, they have entered into a rights agreement with the college football playoff for a 6-year, $7.8 billion price tag. And so ESPN decided, let's sell some of this off to TNT. The full financial details are not yet known, but during its negotiations with the CFP, the Disney-owned ESPN had put an average of about $25 million on each first-round game. So we're thinking $25 million a game for the college football playoff. How will these broadcasts go? TNT games will be produced by ESPN and use ESPN broadcasters, but be branded TNT Sports. According to a source with direct knowledge of their plans, TNT could produce ancillary programming around the games, which could include a new show like, I don't know, Inside the College Football Playoff, featuring Charles Barkley. I don't think that'll keep him around, by the way.
Oh, fat women in College Station.
I hate the Alamo Bowl. ESPN will get to choose the first 2 first-round games before TNT then gets to select their chunk of the pie in terms of which games they're going to be broadcasting.
The ones that are up against the NFL.
Remember, ESPN, WBD Sports, and Fox are teaming up for a standalone streaming product named Venue, but you know it's cool because it doesn't have an E in it.
Yeah, you know it's great when the word is purposefully misspelled.
It's like menu, but Venue, which will be available to consumers this fall, and according to executives briefed on the plans, will be priced in the neighborhood of $45 to $50 a month.
Hard pass.
By working with Warner Bros. Discovery, ESPN is able to keep the entire playoff under the Venue. Once again, you know it's cool because it's missing a letter.
Mm-hmm.
Umbrella.
It's like in 1999-2000, we spelled everything with a Z.
It is kind of like that, actually. Now we're just taking letters off of things.
Got to shorten up those words. Time is money.
Are we running out of words to use for stuff? Like everything is everything is Venue or you know, like focus. Everything is called something like that nowadays. We got to come up with like we could still use multi-word things to name things.
Yeah, you can use 2 words to name something. It's fine. The brand will not suffer.
Anyway, it seems like the NBA, it seems like TNT is going to lose the NBA, so they're buying some college football playoff games from ESPN. That's the long and short of it. As far as what you will notice, really nothing except for the fact that it's on TNT. It'll be ESPN branding and ESPN broadcasters. It'll just be on channel 30 or whatever, 36 or whatever.
Like how,
or if you have YouTube TV, you literally won't notice it at all, probably. Or if you have Venue, then you definitely really won't notice it at all.
Like how during the big basketball tournament every year, they just borrow the broadcasters and use CBS's presentation.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. ESPN, nice job.
TNT carving out a lane as the spillover for college championships.
I would like to sell some of my bad pie off to other people. Just think, it's the best of both worlds. Right. I get to keep all the good pie, sell the worst pieces of the pie for a lot of money because people want my pie so desperately. But routinely, for the last decade plus, you've kept all the pie. You've sold no pie because there hasn't really been pie to sell. And now you have so much pie that it's too much. You'd be gluttonous if you kept all that pie.
Yes.
So you have to sell it, and it turns out that you can sell it for an outstanding price. Why aren't you saying anything, Josh?
Because I'm trying not to laugh. Poll question. Thank you, Asian Joe. Do people want Connor's pie?
If I could sell it at that price, if I could create a market where people want my pie that much, that's the dream.
Oh, yeah. Like, hey, we'll just give us some money, give us like a lot of money, and we'll let you do the work of, broadcasting it.
By the way, we've got a text here. Did you look any further into that Rakita guy?
I've been sent some news articles now that I know I didn't know the parties' names involved, so all I had to Google was Gopher Podcast Swingers, and that did not bear fruit.
I also tried that last week when Theo was all over this. Got a text here from the 308.
Hi, 308.
Rakita Law became popular during the Rittenhouse trial.
Oh, no.
He streamed the entire trial, upwards of 100,000 live viewers.
Sure, it was a big hot button trial.
Oh, definitely was that. Yes.
Remember when we were just so glued into the news all the time?
There was just something happening all the time,
all
Josh.
The time.
And now we can sit here and we can talk about pies. Things are easier in 2024.
I love pie.
A little bit better. Let's take a timeout. Sam will still join us, but it'll be a little bit later. So we're thinking about 20 minutes for him. We still got a chance to catch up with Sam McKewon. We still have a couple other things that we can get to, including we can get back into Nebraska baseball thoughts. I still have one more Nebraska baseball related question for you all. So we'll do that coming back next on the Connor Happer Show, Josh, on 1620 The Zone. But first, we are all set for the NBA Finals. Of course, it's not too late to get in on the action with the FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. The NBA playoffs, they don't tip off until Thursday. In game one, though, the Celtics are 6.5-point favorites. Very interesting. The NBA Finals MVP is Jason Tatum, minus 120. Any winning $5 bet gets you $150 in bonus bets. I repeat. So use that information however you see fit. And remember that there's no better place to bet on all the playoff action than, of course, America's #1 sportsbook. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer and get started today. FanDuel.com/Happer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit is required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Don't answer that. It's another roof gypsy ringing the doorbell. They are attempting to capitalize on the misfortune that Mother Nature has thrown your way. Make the right call to a trusted company that has faithfully served the Omaha area for over 35 years. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
For roofing, siding, and gutter repair, make the right call to John Higgins Weather Guard.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the Rooferees. Make the right call.
Hey, you hear that? That's the sound of loose change in your pocket reminding you to buy a 99-cent medium fountain drink from Casey's. So the next time you hear this, you already know where to go. 99-cent medium fountain drinks. It's not crazy. It's Casey's.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tune in to 1290 Coil all season long for your Omaha Storm Chasers baseball as they take on the International League. It's Storm Chasers baseball on 1290 Coil.
I'm Dave Osted. And I'm Ryan Osted. Every golfer will get value from being custom fit. The truth is, the higher handicappers will get more value from being custom fit than the low handicappers.
It's changed so much since my dad started the business in 1963. We now have hundreds of thousands of dollars in technology, and we know exactly what the spin rate is, what the launch angle is. We encourage you to bring your current clubs in now, and we can compare it. And guys walk out of the store knowing that the purchase they just made is going to give them 21 more yards off the tee box. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Join the VIP club and sign up for 1620's email. Josh, what are we going to throw in 1620 the email today?
Oh, I mean, we got a lot of options. Probably
Connor's Pie.
Connor's Pie could be in there. We could sell that off piece by piece to the audience in the email. Probably your hard truths about Nebraska baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Seems to be riling the people up.
Direct to your inbox. And not only our content, of course, but news, contests, promotions, and more. We're going to be big on contests, I think. Oh, yeah. We're going to have some stuff to give away, especially as we start ramping up toward the fall. And, you know, there's tickets to be won, and concerts to be concerted. A lot of good options for you.
Will there be pie?
Maybe not in the email, unless you decide to throw it in there, of course.
Okay.
Sign up today, 1620thezone.com. ECU and Evansville, a guy just slammed his face into the wall. East Carolina has a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the fifth against Evansville. This is a battle. The 4 seed hanging right in there, and they do have the tying run on first base right now. Every inning feels like the last inning in a game 7, by the way, in a lose or die game, or win or die game, I suppose I should say.
Oh, that's a walk. Bases loaded for
So
the
the
Purple
bases
Aces.
are now juiced. If you want to hear our regional weekend recap, that is also on the podcast feed from today. I do have one remaining question for Nebraska baseball. So we talked about the hard truths and the ceilings and things like that. So one thing that goes along with this, because I feel like people, I don't know, we were about to hear from Chris today, who was about to tell us how we're soft and we have too low of expectations for Nebraska baseball. Why can't we enter SEC school here? And I gave them to answer that question. I said, well, I think there's some real hurdles to getting there. Number one being that you're not in the Southeast Conference, and that you're in a conference with a bunch of schools who don't particularly care about baseball that much. So let me answer that question in a different with a different question. And here it is. Do you get the sense that Mr. Yogurt is ready to pour a whole bunch of money into baseball? Or a whole bunch of money into anything? No, that is not my sense of Mr. Yogurt.
No.
He doesn't seem like the biggest spender in the world. And so what you guys are asking is Nebraska to really, really spend, right? Now they could definitely hike it up a little bit, especially for spending habits as it pertains to their own conference. You know, with the West Coast schools in, I think Nebraska's toward the top half of the league as far as baseball spending is concerned. They could certainly be higher, and they could aim to be higher. But I think a lot of you guys have really, really wild dreams about what Nebraska baseball should be or could be or something like that. And frankly, I just don't think that Like if Nebraska finds themselves with a surplus of money from all this money that they're getting from the TV deal and all this money that they're getting from the playoff and stuff like that, I just do not get the sense that they're going to pour that into making baseball this this nationally relevant program, because like I said, it is, like I said before, as it pertains to like how much talent that you have on your roster, it wouldn't be prudent to do so. It wouldn't be a good idea, because what do you do? All right, we build Nebraska a new stadium or improve the current one, and we make it look like the one that they played in Stillwater, or make it look like the one that they played in Arkansas a couple of years ago, or you get them a pitching lab or something like that. Like whatever it is, it's on Will Bolt's list of desires. What does it get you? It gets you a further ability to develop the players that you do have, but it does not give you access to the type of talent that you would require for Nebraska baseball to achieve your wildest dreams. It just doesn't do that. Like, that's what I was talking about with the hard truth from before. These are just facts. These are just facts of life. And I'm not saying that you should set your expectations lower unless you are the kind of person who says, what's stopping Nebraska from being just as good as Florida? What's stopping Nebraska from being just as good as Oklahoma State? I'll tell you what's stopping them from being just as good as those programs. Facts.
Geography. Yeah. Population density.
Yeah. Like literal just facts of life. And I'm not saying that they, once again, to go back to the earlier segment, I'm not saying that they couldn't beat them in a one-off scenario. I'm not saying that they couldn't beat a team like that in a regional or a super and get back to the College World Series. That is still within the realm of possibility. But if we're talking about like program versus program, it's just like, even when Nebraska was, and keep in mind, this is when Nebraska was in the Big 12, and it was a very different time. And they went to 3 College World Series in 5 years. There was still no prior precedent for them getting to that point. And they had a bunch of major leaguers on the 05 team, including the number 2 overall pick, who was the National Player of the Year, Golden Spikes Award winner. That team was capable of winning a national championship, but nobody, like, I don't know. We were dreaming, obviously, at the time, but it wasn't like Nebraska is a blue blood brand of college baseball. It just, it just isn't, and sorry, like, I hope that this isn't news to people. I hate to break this to you on a day like today. But I do think you probably need to hear it if you're thinking, why can't Nebraska be this? Why can't Nebraska be this program? They can be the best version of themselves, which admittedly, like Schaefer said before, like is probably right at where they're at right now, a step higher, like break through and get to that super or make that run to the College World Series, but be the best team in the Big Ten, be the best team in the upper Midwest. That's what Nebraska should be. That's what they should strive to be. And they frankly don't have the means. They don't have the technology or the steady hands to pull off a procedure like transforming its face into Florida. They just don't.
And there's nothing in Mr. Yogurt's history as an AD that shows that, he's going to dump a ton of money and care into the sport of baseball.
Jefferson Steelflex writes in.
Hello, Jefferson.
He says a couple things that I think are wrong.
Whoa.
First, we don't have good enough talent in the state or around us, unfortunately. Well, okay, you're part right then.
Not enough.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't have Florida's talent
right
in the state.
There's not a super team.
There is enough talent to be the best version of yourself in this state.
Could do better, certainly.
Yes.
Could keep the ones you have.
Hard to, though. Hard to. It's a tough ask.
Definitely.
Also says, UC teams do way more with less than what we got. Okay, so once again, I think we are mixing postseason results with what are you as a program. Like we're talking about two different things. Michigan going to the College World Series a few years ago and going all the way to the final was not representative of Michigan being Look, they lost their coach immediately after that, right? Like,
yeah, he could not wait to get out of there.
Right. Now he's going to bring Clemson back here. Like, so that's...
If Evansville wins this game today against East Carolina and makes a super regional, they're
losing their coach.
They're not the
Right.
exactly. They're not the baseball school, Evansville.
Right. So, yes, you see worse teams go deeper into the postseason than Nebraska has in baseball over the last several years. Of course, you see it every year. But it's not like it can help your program out, and hopefully the response to Nebraska, if they get to the point where they host a regional or they make it into a super, they make it to the College World Series, hopefully the response is, okay, we have this money. Let me reward you. Let's pour it into and let's strike while the iron's hot. That's what Michigan did. That's what Indiana did. It doesn't guarantee you jack. It doesn't get you jack. It doesn't get you anything. Indiana got a nice new ballpark.
Sure.
Michigan had their budget go up, and they have some good coaches. What did they get them? They're in the same place as Nebraska is. They're in the Big Ten, Josh. They're in the Big Ten. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at your little pin, your lapel. It says B1G on it. That means Jim Delaney's getting paid a $5 million bonus for not working here, and you can't pay to have Big Ten games on television.
The reaction to the regional result has me morbidly curious about what is happening in Fayetteville today. On their Little Rock Sports Radio is popping.
Josh, you need to go watch Dave Van Horn's press conference immediately after the show ends. For sure. Yeah, they were asking some very pointed questions. I'm going
to do this when you talk to Sam.
And they go crazy over Arkansas baseball down there.
That's not football fans who were like, the baseball team's good.
That is Arkansas baseball fans. We love the Hogs baseball team. And so, yes, you can imagine the response is not exactly the most beautiful picture of cohesiveness in a fan base today. How much is for sure. So I don't think Nebraska, I don't think they're just going to pour all this money into baseball. Like, could they decide to be like, we're going to get you a pitching lab and we're going to get you a beautiful new ballpark or whatever it is that you want. Like, we're going to do all these things and you have my full, undivided, give me a list and I will pour money into baseball. No, because frankly, Nebraska hasn't really earned that in the first place. It's always going to be a chicken or the egg thing. Like, do you get the money because you win, or do you win because you have the money? For a program like Nebraska, the winning has to come first. And that's where we include postseason success, because those are the things that define you.
The athletic department is very much we're a zero balance program. So they're not just going to dump money because, hey, there might be a window opening up if we dump a bunch of money in here. They're not going to. No, they're not going to spend like that.
No, it's just not how it goes. Baseball is one of the more expensive sports to run in the first place. I'm pretty sure baseball is one of the sports that takes a small loss every year. But football makes up for it, right? So it's not a prudent decision, I suppose. Sorry, I know it's hard. It's very hard.
Hard truths.
Nebraska will not be an SEC program. It's not going to happen. All right, let's take a break. We will come back. Sam McKewon joins us next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
Yu Darvish having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
You get a lot of junk in your inbox. This one, not junk. Not junk at all. 1620 The Email. Exclusive content, contests, other stuff probably. Subscribe today at 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies for your Monday, warm and muggy today with a high of 87, feeling closer to 90 degrees though with the heat index this afternoon. Southerly winds up to 10 miles an hour, becoming mostly cloudy tonight but staying warm with a low of 66. Mostly cloudy skies for much of the day Tuesday, breezy with a 70% chance of spotty to scattered storms, a few of which could be strong, a high of 84. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
There is only one constant in the universe, and that's change.
Brent Rasmussen of Mortgage Specialists.
I'm sure many of you remember the incredibly low interest rates that were available only a few years ago. Well, things changed. Now rates are higher. But would you believe me if I told you there was a time when people were paying double-digit rates? And that's the thing. Everything changes. Rates go up, rates go down. So if you're waiting for the perfect time when rates drop before you buy a home, you might miss out on the home you really want. So when you think about it, what's a thing today might not be a thing tomorrow. See? Change is good. I'm Brent Rasmussen. Call me at Mortgage Specialists, and we can show you all the details. Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.
Click mtg-specialists.com. NMLS number 5918, Equal Housing Lender.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tune in to 1290 Coil all season long for your Omaha Storm Chasers baseball as they take on the International League. It's Storm Chasers baseball on 1290 Coil.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Email us on the Equitable Bank inbox with whatever is on your mind. Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. You can get me, Gary, at 1620thezone.com. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit.
Welcome back. More of the Counter Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. By the way, Evansville with a 3-run home run is taking a 6-5 lead as they head to the 7th. And Evansville, just to give a quick note here,
paint the picture,
They
Connor.
have a team full of idiots, it seems. They're flexing all over the place.
He Randy Arozarena on first base on his way around.
They're yelling at everybody. They're crotch tapping each other when they get to a lot going on. So I expect more fireworks in that game 7.
Yeah, that game's not over yet.
Not even close. Sam McKewon joins us now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Sam, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, Hal, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. Hey, we've been discussing a form of this question basically all show long. So let me ask you, what do you think Nebraska baseball should strive to be?
Well, I think "should" is probably a good word. You know, you always have to match it up with what you view your investment to be and what you feel like you can do. And so I kind of take a cue from what Matt Rule said when he was talking about Tony White taking a head coaching job. Don't take a head coaching job where the expectations don't align with the with the investment. So I think the investment level and the reality of where Nebraska baseball is right now is probably to make a regional. And then you prefer to host because the percentages of hosts who make it is pretty good to the super regional. But to make one and then, take your chances. Get on a run. Kansas State, West Virginia, both 3 seeds. The UConn. UConn has a chance tonight to get to the second super regional in 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
They've been to 6 straight, NCAA tournaments. And, UConn, Kansas State, and West Virginia are all sort of in line with what Nebraska is right now. And if you want to get more than that, then you're probably going to have to talk to the head coach about how do we get beyond that, and he probably has some thoughts. And then my thoughts is you've got to do something with the schedule. You want to go after the SEC elephants. You have to go play them. You got to find a way to kick the door in and go play SEC teams in February and March and go play them because Nebraska was not. I don't know what the right word we want to use here is, but I can't remember what the score was at the first Florida game this weekend, but they lost 17-11.
Yeah, 5-2 and then 17-11.
Yeah, they were not competitive. If you put those together, that's 22-13, and it got loose at the end, but Florida was up 17-6. So you have to go play them. And so I think it's a twofold conversation. One, there's probably some things Nebraska has to invest in, according to Coach Bolt, but probably, objectively too. And then 2, you got to go play these teams. I think it's a very similar conversation, to be honest with you, in Nebraska basketball. Nebraska basketball is underachieved, but it's the same deal there. You're probably going to have to get more NIL money to do the things you want to do. But simultaneously, they're going to play in some sort of MTE against a bunch of teams that might help their RPI or might help their net, but don't really address the issue of playing teams that are super talented.
Right.
So, now granted, the Big Ten is a much better basketball league than it is baseball league, but you get my point. That I think both of the teams need to schedule a little tougher, but simultaneously they may need some investments that help them get better players.
I don't see any. I mean, for both of them, really, I don't see much shame in basically how they're doing it right now. Now, people always want to go to the next level, and they want to say, "Hey, look, we have to compete with the best. We have to be the best." If Nebraska in basketball is finishing in the middle portion of the Big Ten and making the NCAA tournament every year, or 3 out of every 5, or whatever it is, that's good. If Nebraska baseball is knocking on the door of the NCAA tournament basically every year in the top probably 2 or 3 of the Big Ten Conference every year, I think that's kind of the like equivalent there, Sam. Like I think that's, like you said, that's where they're at right now. And I wonder how the returns would be if you strived for something, for something maybe a little bit more risky going into, these games with higher recruiting aspirations, higher NIL aspirations, building new stadiums or whatever it might be. Like, I don't know. I think they're in a pretty comfortable spot right now, but that comfort maybe makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't think they're far off from where they want to be. I think if Nebraska had been a 16 seed this year, which, by the way, they could have done. I mean,
yeah.
They beat Kansas and they beat South Dakota State, and They beat Creighton once. They might have got a regional. I mean, they weren't that far away from it. They got a little fortunate with College of Charleston being as good as they were, and then the way they won those games kept College of Charleston out. But hey, I mean, Grand Canyon was a good team. That was a good baseball team that Nebraska played. I mean, they took it to Arizona and they got to the regional final. Kansas State's a good baseball team, obviously. College of Charleston's a good team. They didn't make the tournament, but so they're trying. They're playing Oklahoma and Baylor, and they're trying. But I think you're going to have to go play the SEC teams in order to get where you want to go. And then one more thing, it's fine to say that, but then if you want to be an underdog, then play like an underdog against South Dakota State. After the game, don't come out and say, well, this is their World Series, so obviously everybody wants to beat us. Don't do that then. If you're going to be the everybody wants to beat us thing, then go play the teams that that are commensurate with that and get South Dakota State off your schedule. Or if you want to be the scrappy underdog, you've got to set a standard that says, look, guys, we want to host a regional. They ain't going to give it to us.
Yep.
They're not going to put us in this thing just willy-nilly. We got to win 40. And so don't you dare think that these games in the midweek aren't super important. You play your guts out there because that's how you get to 40. You're not going to do it, early in the year. And so, there's probably an approach in there somewhere, but this is a deep team that I think is probably going to be about as good next year. I already heard somebody saying that, well, what about Gabe Swanson? Well, Gabe, what if he leaves? Well, what if he leaves? I mean, he didn't do a ton most of the year. And then, he got hot late, and that's great. They created a memory they'll never forget winning the Big Ten tournament. But, they can replace him if they have to.
Yeah.
So they played without him hitting most of the year. So, I think this is a team that can expect to be pretty much back where they were once again. One more thing I'll add, Connor. So long as they keep doing this 2 and 3 seed regional whatever, you pretty much just pencil yourself in playing Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, pretty much every year. Like, this is where you're going to go. I mean, this is where they've been going. So you better find a way to beat those teams. And and they did beat Arkansas once, but you better find a way because these are the teams you're going to play until they get rid of that designation. You're going to be stuck in the Midwest, and nothing wrong with that. But everybody's gotten, they've been Oklahoma State before. Well, they have, but they haven't emerged. Now they've been there 3 times, and they haven't gotten out of it. So I think we can stop saying, well, they know Oklahoma State. Yeah, look, they do. That's right. But they didn't get out, and Kansas State did.
Yep.
They got out of Arkansas. So, it's a results-based business. I try to be objective in that way. And fans kind of yo-yo back and forth. 2 weeks ago, they're like, I got to get rid of Bolt. And we love him, So there's a lot of, but people should expect that because again, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago. We're in a younger generation of fans now, and they yo-yo a lot. This isn't. I have, a whole life over here, and I will keep a medium posture all the time. Fans are up and down constantly. That's what social media does to you. And so the coaches and the players have to expect that and adjust.
Sam, we'll get you out of here on this. You wrote about Nebraska from a recruiting perspective, but specifically football we're talking now. In the middle of the field, running back, quarterback, interior offensive line, interior defensive line, linebacker, safety, the middle of the field. How would you say that is – it's early, obviously, for Matt Rule from the recruiting game and the development game. Obviously, you got a 5-star quarterback. How has that come along? Where are they at right now, and what will that tell us about their season upcoming?
I think they've done a great job at interior offensive line. I think they've done a great job at quarterback, Dylan Rayola and Danny Kalin. I think the jury's out on running back. The jury's out on linebacker. They do have a lot of bodies at safety. Now I think it's a question of figuring out who they're going to pick. They've done a very good job of accumulating players in the defensive backfield. Now it becomes a question of which of those guys emerge, and when they do emerge, is the competition going to make them better so that they're playing at a third-team all-conference level? I'm not even talking all-conference. I'm just talking third-team all-conference. Defensive line is tough, but I think they've done okay. And their model on the defensive line is going to be to recruit a guy, develop him for 2 or 3 years, and then have him emerge as a fourth year junior, 5th year senior. So we're not going to know for a couple of years whether they get there on that. But I think they're doing okay. I think the positions where Nebraska's really struggled over the last decade are running back, linebacker, and safety. They haven't had really any draft picks outside of Nate Gary. At those positions.
Linebacker is crazy to me.
Yeah,
the way how bad they've been over there the last 3-4 years.
Me too. They've been a little undersized. Nick Henrich was not undersized, but he got banged up a lot. That's probably the one where you're like, if he hadn't gotten hurt, he'd have been pretty special. They've been a little undersized there. Luke Reimers, nobody plays harder, a little undersized. Muhammad Berry played very, very hard, a little undersized. He was 6'1", 220. Ideally, you'd like to have both those guys, if you can get them, be 6'2", 6'3", and rangy, the way that Iowa linebackers tend to be. Their weakest position's probably been running back, and that's surprising too.
Yeah,
they just haven't been able to. I feel like I spend a lot of time trying to think counterintuitive thoughts just because I want to figure out if there's some area that's being missed. I think the era of, we're just going to roll out 4 or 5 running backs and kind of rely on a bunch of guys. That's an NFL model, and I don't mind it. I think Nebraska should maybe consider going in the opposite direction and saying, now we're going to have a workhorse.
Agreed.
And in having a workhorse, we'll get one of the best in the country because we're going to tell them, you're going to carry the ball here 30 times. And you're going to walk out of this place with 3,000 yards after 3 years, and you're going to play some football here. And do you want that, or do you want to go get 9 carries at Alabama? It's up to you. And some of the guys are like, I want to go to Alabama, and you can't stop them. But I think they've got to try to get to that. This thing where they're playing 4 or 5 guys, I get it and I appreciate it, but I just don't know if that's going to work for Nebraska, because what you're going to get at Nebraska, if you do that, is you're going to get a lot of mid-level 3-stars, and then you hope one of them emerges. And it's been several years since one really truly has. And people will say, well, what about this guy? Well, what about the guy that had 2 season-ending injuries? I don't know what to tell you about that. You're being very optimistic to assume that guy is going to turn the corner after 2 pretty devastating injuries. I don't really know what's going to happen.
No.
They need to get guys that are healthy and guys that are dynamic players. And they need to convince them to come to Nebraska based on, hey, guys, if you come here, you're going to play a lot of football. You don't have to wait 2.5 years to get 15 carries in a game.
I'm totally with you, Sam. Appreciate the time as always. Thanks for moving around with us today, and we'll talk to you later.
Take care, guys.
Sam McKewon from the Omaha World Herald. It has been 10 years since Amir Abdullah played for Nebraska. People forget that.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that number.
Nebraska has had a 1,000-yard rusher since Amir Abdullah left campus. One time. One Divine Zigbu.
Not enough.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Some people think business banking is only about transactions. But at Emprise, we don't view money as an end game. We see it as an engine. It's who we are. Transforming ideas into IPOs, turning potential into profit. Emprise is next generation business banking, where we help money work for you, not the other way around. That's the power of possible. Visit emprisebank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Let's go on a fishing trip you will be talking about for years. The best walleye fishing trip ever. Join me, Crash Davis. We're going to travel to the walleye capital of the world, September 15th through the 19th aboard a deluxe motor coach. Travel with me to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Pricing includes round-trip motor coach transportation, 4 nights lodging, 3 days of fully guided walleye fishing, and all of our meals. Go fishing with me, Crash. Your best trip ever. Sign up at ballardsresort.com. ballardsresort.com. And set the hook.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. Everlevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage. And it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is Cops. Receive 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. Cops makes delicious pizza, fresh salads, and tasty charred wings. For the basic menu, click copspizza.com. And for the extended menu, visit them at Shadow Lake Town Center, 180th and Center, and the newly reopened 72nd and Jones locations.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Full questions at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Has the car antenna disappeared? It has.
Yeah, almost definitely.
Do I miss it? No.
No.
76% say yes. Watch for the second bite? Question mark.
I think that's where the key is.
I think it's a good take by you. 53% say yes.
Okay.
Is Columbus, Nebraska home to the greatest Godfather's pizza known to man?
Most voted on poll question of the day.
I cannot confirm this, but I will take Hanley's word for it.
A lot of people chiming in.
61% say no.
Oh,
it is not home to that.
No one offered an alternative, though.
Just no.
No. Couldn't be.
But you want to pitch Brett Sears? No. Would you buy Sofia Vergara's coffee?
Yeah, I think I would. I'd trust her.
I'd like to try.
Sure.
60% say no. When you think of goal line stand, do you think of Riley Van Poppel?
Sorry, Connor, I do not.
It's the first guy. 76% say no. Was Hayden Fry pretty good? Yes.
I think we showed our work on that one.
We are dead even, 50-50. And finally, do people want Connor Happer's pie?
No.
I don't think they
do. I don't think so.
77% say no.
Oh, wow.
But it's still early.
Very, very.
Those are the polls. Josh, what are we watching?
Well, we don't have any NBA until Thursday. We don't have any hockey until Saturday. Congratulations to the Oilers. It's getting weird.
Josh gets in his bag right now.
That's right. An 8-game slate in Major League Baseball today. Brewers, Phillies, 5:30 on MLB Network. Mets, Nationals from our nation's capital at 5:45 on MLB TV. It's your free game of the day. Orioles, Blue Jays, 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus, and at 8:30 on FS1. It is a baseball game on FS1, so you know America's team is playing.
The Arizona Diamondbacks.
That's right. They host the San Francisco Giants.
Winners of the 2001 World Series. People
Arizona
forget that.
Diamondbacks, yes. College baseball regional play underway right now. Evansville still has that 6-5 lead.
Yes, they do.
Over East Carolina. That's on ESPNU right now. After that game, they will take you to Stillwater, where it is the Cowboys and the Gators. And then after that game on ESPNU, probably the main event of the day, 5 o'clock, North Carolina against LSU. Then 8 o'clock on ESPN2.
Mark my words, something wacky is going to happen in that game. UConn, Oklahoma.
UConn, Oklahoma,
yes. Yeah. Something absolutely nuts is going to happen in that game.
Yeah.
Remember how UConn's super run ended last year?
Oh, that's right. College softball.
The regional, whatever.
Was supposed to get underway at, I thought 12:30. There must have been some more rain because Oklahoma, Florida has been pushed back to 2 o'clock on ESPN. They'll play another one this afternoon if Florida should win that game. Stanford and Texas at 6 o'clock on ESPN. Those two will play at 8:30 if Stanford wins. Those game times might have been pushed back a couple hours with the weather today in Oklahoma City. We're supposed to know who will play in the championship series by the end of today at the Women's College World Series. Connor, another staple of summer has come. 7 o'clock tonight on NBC, the season 16 premiere of American Ninja Warrior. The competition returns as ninjas take on 2 qualifying courses and a chance to conquer the mega warped wall.
Of course they do.
Sure. That sounds like every episode of American Ninja Warrior.
Josh, thanks.
Oh, I got one more.
Okay.
Real quick. I know we got to get out of here. Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup on Lifetime at 8 o'clock. Accompany Gypsy Rose as she restarts her life as a free woman, reunites with family. Keep in mind, she murdered her mother and navigates her marriage. I don't know who this person is or why we have so many shows dedicated to her, but here we are.
America loves her, I guess.
I guess. Thank you, Connor.
Thank you, Josh. That is what we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you missed anything, go outside and mow your lawn tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Don't answer that. It's another roof gypsy ringing the doorbell. They are attempting to capitalize on the misfortune that Mother Nature has thrown your way. Make the right call to a trusted company that has faithfully served the Omaha area for over 35 years. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
For roofing, siding, and gutter repair, make the right call to John Higgins Weather Guard.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the Rooferees. Make the right call.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Smith for Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream. Now that we got through the spring and we're in the summer,